All right, we're live. There we go. Now everyone can stop yelling at me saying that it's fake. It's not really live. I was just waiting for people.
You got
Feel
your
free
first
to jump
taker.
in.
I'm first.
Yeah, exactly. So I just did a thing earlier today. Sorry, I'm doing like two things at once. That's not what I meant to click. So I just did a thing earlier this afternoon. That's for the people listening, and well, for you also since you're talking to me. A monthly legislative update. I did that because of Every Second Matters. Now, normally when I do that, it's a 10, 15-minute video, something like that. This last one, I was just looking at it. It's 40 minutes long. So much crap happened in February.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening, man.
And I didn't even spend that much time on each one. Normally I'll kind of describe it, give my opinion of it, talk about it a little bit. A lot of them were like the same, especially near the end there. A bunch of state level like bump stock bans. So I basically was like naming the state, reading off the number, and just going, it's a bump stock ban. Next state, reading off the number. Oh, another bump stock ban. Next state, reading off the number. Oh, it's a magazine limit. Like, if it's stuff that we're all pretty much familiar with, I don't need to sit there and explain what bump stock is. Especially earlier in the video, I explained it a little bit more. And I saw a new term, and I as bad as it is, because I don't want to, like ban stuff like this. I thought the term was kind of funny because it is a, oh my God, what do they say it? It is a rapid fire trigger activator.
Oh, what?
It's a rapid fire trigger activator. That's all in quotes. That's what they call it. So instead of saying bump stock ban, they're trying to ban rapid fire trigger activators.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even from a mechanical standpoint, that doesn't even make sense because you're not using something to actuate the trigger. Your finger is actuating the trigger, so that doesn't even make sense.
Right. But it's helping to facilitate the activation of the trigger by your finger. I don't know. I mean, we all know it's obviously stupid. But I just thought that was at least it was more fun to say than bump stock ban. Because I got to say it in the robot voice. It's an activator. Trigger activator. Take me to your later. I want an activator.
Well, the problem with these bands is, like, no joke, man. Like, it's all opinionated because then all that can be done is, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like that. And it's not black and white. It's so gray. It's not even gray.
Right. The thing that gets me on it is just that like we already have a good definition between semi-auto and full auto. Like that it is very what, like it's black and white. It's draw the line in the sand. It's well defined
As
on
defined as it's going to be.
right. And so you're gonna take that definition and just change it to something completely weird and different. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does. It's for mass confiscation. That's all it's for. That's all. That's all it is. It's not to stop school shootings. It's not to stop criminals. It's not to stop anything. It's a bunch of ideas to do a mass confiscation by using 1,000 words instead of just saying, "We want your guns."
Right. No, that's a good point. I mean, you're right. Their ultimate goal is oh geez, Pink sent me something here. Yeah, their ultimate goal is just take away all guns. So what is this? HR 5087 assault weapons ban of 2018. Okay. When was that? What happened there? Actions.
Is that at the federal level or at the state
Yeah,
level?
no, federal level. Let's see. Last action was on February 26th, referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary. I bet you it was yeah, it was introduced on the 26th as well. So introduced and sent to the committee right away. But
That was right after. Go ahead.
I was going to say the important part here is, I mean, I know what they've defined as assault weapon in the past. I'm curious of what they define a assault weapon as now.
What do you mean when you say that?
Well, like for the 94 assault weapon ban that expired in 2004. It was added for 10 years and it sunsetted. Yeah, let me just close this real quick. Okay, so that defined assault weapon as semi-auto detachable magazine with whatever, like two of the following features, and that was like pistol grip, flash hider, barrel shroud, adjustable stock.
Okay, I'll just make it sure because I've heard other people talk about what the definition of assault weapon is, and they're like completely wrong of the people who like come into the pods and whatnot. And I'm like,
Oh
no,
yeah,
you
well, I
need
mean,
to.
I personally don't think assault weapons exist. I mean, I think it's a dumb term, but I'm
Well, it's
just
two
saying, as
words.
far as the legislation goes, when congressman says I support banning assault weapons, historically that basically meant things similar to AR-15s. I don't know if you've seen like the California compliant ARs where they take all that stuff off, and then it's just it's either a semi-auto rifle with like a weird stock. They have the one that like swoops down and comes back up, and that's not considered a pistol grip. Or you take your pistol grip and you put your piece of plastic on it so you can't wrap your thumb like around the other side, so then
Yeah,
that doesn't count. And or they got the things where you can't take the magazine out, so now it's not a detachable magazine.
yeah, you have to take the weapon apart and then the mag will drop through or something.
Right. And which, and that's again, and also in the past, someone said it used to, the definition, that's the other thing they do. They just change the definition of each piece. So detachable magazine used to mean, you need a tool to remove the magazine. If it can be removed without a tool, it's detachable. If you have to use a tool, it's, attached. So that's where the whole bullet button thing came from, where you can't just push the mag release with your finger. It doesn't work. But you could use the tip of a bullet, or I've seen other things, a little screwdriver or a pen, or you can use anything, a little something that's small enough, and that's a tool. And they even just defined it. The tip of a bullet counts as a tool. So you push that in, and then the whole button will move, and then the mag
Yeah,
drops free. So that used to be an attached magazine. And then
yeah.
when the whole gun apocalypse thing happened in California, they decided that doesn't count anymore. Now, in order to be considered attached, it has to be, you have to take the action apart in order to remove it. And that's considered attached.
They
So,
also learned about the magnets too. Remember the little magnet pieces that were being sold that just slipped over the button, and all you had to do it like it would just pull the insides and then you push and whatnot.
I'm not familiar with that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but
It
it
was
would
like
have
a
to have it
$10
would have to
thing.
have some type of little like peg thing that pushes so
Oh
that
no,
you
it was
can't.
just a magnet. It was just this little magnet piece because like the button, the AR-15 button is like metal or whatever. It was a little magnet piece that would go in and basically pull on the little pieces from what I understand, and you could just push on it when it
Oh,
slipped
so
over
that's
the
considered
button.
a tool. It just was a tool that you attach to the magazine.
Exactly, and you didn't have to, because like once you attached it, it became. I'm assuming it's no longer a removable tool if you left it on.
Yeah, but because the magnet is not permanently attached to it, that's probably what they were going with. It's a tool. It just happens to be stored right in the place I need to use it.
Right.
But it's just a magnet, so it's not attached.
Yeah, they sell them on Amazon and stuff and
Well, they're
whatnot.
useless
Oh,
now
they
because it
did.
doesn't count anymore. Even if you
Um,
didn't have that and you just had a regular bullet button, um, that's considered an attached magazine.
well, it was for the bullet buttons. The piece would slip over the mag button, and somehow because of the magnet, it would pull on the insides or something. So when you pushed it, it would actually just
Right.
actuate it, just like having
So
a
it's because I have some experience with a bullet button. I didn't know exactly how it worked till I actually experienced it. So the idea is that how a normal AR mag release, right?
yeah.
It's got the big button, and then that screws into like the paddle that's on the other side. And there's a spring in there. So when you push the button in, that paddle moves out of the way, and then the mag drops because there's a little catch on there, right? It's maybe people listening don't know how it works. Anyways, that's how it works. So the bullet button, what it does is it basically the shaft of, I'll call it the paddle, or like the mag catch, the actual thing that holds the mag, the little L-shaped piece. The shaft of that normally would just screw into the button and then you're good to go. You push the button. Um, what you're doing is you're only pushing on that piece. Like the outside part of the mag button that doesn't
Attached.
do anything.
It's
You're
not
only
attached.
Right. You're only pushing the inside piece. So you have to have something really skinny that can push against that shaft, and that pushes the L-shaped piece that is the mag catch. So what I'm guessing is this thing you're talking about with a magnet, it's probably like a little flat piece that has a peg sticking out. And the magnet's on there to hold it to the mag button. So when you push it, the little post pushes against the shaft of the mag catch and will push it far enough out that the mag drops free.
That may have been how it worked. I know a lot of people were
That's
buying
how I
them.
would have made it if I was making one.
Well, that's
Um,
how people were buying them, and like you couldn't get caught with one, from what I understood. But like people going to the range with them, and like they'd shoot their 10 rounds, and
oh,
then
see,
just
so then
literally
that
push
sounds,
it.
yeah, that's a little shady then.
You would push it, and it would just drop, and you just
Right.
pop another 10 rounder in, and everything else. And same thing for people using for home defense. Like when you turn that rifle and make sure it's not on there, otherwise it would consider it a illegal assault weapon, supposedly, from what I understood. I don't know how true that was or not, but there
Yeah.
were videos on
I
YouTube of
could
that.
I could see that if they decided that piece, that magnet piece, is not a tool, then it doesn't follow the definition of using a tool to release it.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was figuring. Like I said, I'm not in California. I heard about it and I was like, huh? What is this? And I started seeing them and they were like just like it looked like a little cap that you would just slip over the mag button, and then people started making them where it was kind of hollow and it had like the same texture, but it would still slip over the button anyway. So if you had it on there at a glance, oh yeah, it just has its the bullet button on there and
hmm.
stuff. And it was somebody in the DOJ caught on to it, and I believe, I'm not going to swear to it, I believe that's why they started saying, okay, now the mag has to be permanently affixed, and if you want to take it out, you have to pop the rifle
Right, you have to
apart
disassemble the action.
and use a tool to drop the mag, or have a stripper clip to just pop rounds into
Right,
the
which
mag.
I've seen. It actually is kind of interesting. Um, it's one of them things. Hey, you keep writing weird laws, we'll keep complying with them. And then they get all mad because it's like, that's not what I meant. I tried to ban all ARs. It's like, well, you should have just said that then, because the way you described it doesn't count. Anyways, it was a side loading AR. So it has this other thing. It looks like a magazine. And when the bolt locks back, you stick it in, like
A
the
shot shell.
ejection port. And then there's like a paddle on it that slides forward. So like you have this mag looking thing, like this mag loader, and it's filled with rounds. And then you stick it in the side and you slide the little paddle forward, and it pushes the rounds through the ejection port down into the magazine.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube from someone who was at SHOT Show was looking at it, and it's faster if you want to just like load mags real quick and not use those flimsy little stripper clips that come with NATO mags, not NATO mags, NATO ammo.
Well, the
You
thing
can
is,
just pop mags and just choo, choo,
there'd be no
choo.
way to use a stripper clip to load up the mag that's permanently attached to a rifle.
Yeah, so this is a way to get around for every law, and there's a way to get around it.
Right. Well,
Type
and
deal.
I saw it. It was a short Instagram video, but the rifle itself has this like the pistol grip folds back and forth, and somehow when the pistol grip is down, you cannot release the magazine. So now you have a rifle that has a pistol grip, but it has a attached magazine. So it doesn't count as an assault weapon according to California. The magazine is attached. If you fold the pistol grip, it like folds back 90 degrees, like lays like horizontal. So now you have a gun that doesn't have a pistol grip, and then the mag release button works just like normal. Because you're allowed to have a detachable magazine if you don't have a pistol grip or any of the other features. I mean, I'm sure it didn't have a flash hider or a bayonet lug or any of that other stuff. But yeah, so it was really interesting. The guy was using it, you know, he shot a few rounds or something, and he loaded it from the side. And I was like, oh, I have never seen that thing before. That's kind of neat. And then he folded the pistol grip back, dropped the mag like normal, put a new mag in, and then folded the pistol grip down. So it's like and he did it pretty fast. It's still not as fast as just a regular AR, but that's pretty neat. As soon as you get that muscle memory of like fold, push, drop, put new one in, fold back, pull trigger, like as soon as you get that muscle memory,
it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, they're coming up with new ways. Cause like the reason they're doing California too is like California is like supposedly the worst when it comes to ARs over everybody else. So if it's California compliant, it'll be Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York compliant supposedly. You know, I don't know how true that is, but hey.
Right. Well, a lot of the laws all hinge on detachable magazines. So as soon as you get rid of detachable magazine, your rifle can have all sorts of stuff on it. As soon as you have a detachable magazine, you have to jump through all the hoops.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this thing that Pink sent me is when they're defining assault weapons. This is the new one that's in the main, federal right now. It's in Congress. It's a House Bill 5087. Right. Let's see. We'll go through the first part is just kind of the normal. The term semi-automatic assault weapon means any of the following, blah, 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 blah. A semi-automatic rifle that's capable of accepting detachable magazine and has any one of the following: pistol grip, forward grip, folding telescoping or detachable stock, grenade launcher or rocket launcher, barrel shroud, threaded barrel. So that's the first one. If it's detachable and it has one of these things, it's an assault weapon. A semi-automatic pistol capable of accepting detachable magazines, and then any of the following: threaded barrel, second pistol grip, which that's already a federal thing, barrel shroud, capable of accepting detachable magazines at some location outside of the pistol grip, and a semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. Does that mean all Glocks? Because they make an automatic Glock.
So well, what you just said, not only Glocks, but the AR pistols just fell into that right there.
Oh, there's a separate one for those.
Well, just with that, I mean, it would cover AR pistols from what you just read.
Right. Then there's automatic shotgun, folding telescope and detachable stock, pistol grip, fixed magazine with the capacity to accept more than 5 rounds, the ability to accept detachable magazines, forward grip, grenade launcher, or rocket launcher. So any semi-automatic shotgun that has, folding or telescoping or detachable stock, pistol grip, can have a fixed mag with more than 5 rounds, detachable mag, forward grip, or grenade launcher, rocket launcher. So you can't even have like a pistol grip shotgun anymore. That's considered an assault weapon.
That doesn't even. So it just has to have one of the features, not all.
That one,
Just
yeah,
one.
that the shotgun just has to have one of the features. So the ability to accept detachable magazine, bam, assault weapon. So all of your like AK shotguns and stuff, those are a no-go anymore. And like I said, any shotgun that has a pistol grip, those are a no-go. Anything that has it like a magazine tube that holds more than 5 rounds, no-go.
So they're basically they're doing what they did in the 90s. They were in the 90s. Feinstein had said there were 10,000 and something firearms, and she banned over 8,800, if I'm not mistaken. And it left like 22 and some change firearms that people could legally own. And she said that was good enough, if memory serves me correctly.
That sounds like something she'd say. And then additionally, any shotgun with a revolving cylinder. So if there's like a pump action revolving cylinder shotgun type thing, that doesn't count either.
The Taurus Judge.
Apparently, well, no, that's not a shotgun. That's a pistol. It's a handgun.
Yeah, but it can fire the 410 shotgun shells.
Yeah, but it has a rifled barrel, so it's not a shotgun. See, it's all about the definitions, and I know they're weird and it's hard to navigate, and they do that crap on purpose. But that's why the Taurus Judge exists, because otherwise, if it had a smooth bore, it'd be a whole nother thing because it's a smooth bore firearm with a very short barrel, and you're not allowed to have those. That's already a federal thing. That would be a destructive device.
What if you had a rifled? What if you had a rifled shotgun that had one of those features and it still had a rifled, like 18-inch barrel?
If it had one of those features, I think it would count as an assault weapon.
So even if it had a smooth bore versus rifle bore, it wouldn't count because they're not actually looking at that as far as the definition of a shotgun.
Yeah. If it's like a regular, 18-inch barrel, like what you would think is like just a regular shotgun, I don't think it matters if it's smooth bore or rifled. It's still considered a shotgun.
Okay.
The basically the biggest problem is because it comes up because of the Taurus Judge thing was that if you wanted to make any type of like handguns can't have smooth bore because those are considered, I think it's destructive device. It may be AOW, but anyways, those fall under the NFA from like way back in the day.
Yeah, but what I was thinking about, you said a shotgun with a revolving cylinder, right? And what you read off didn't say anything about a smooth bore or a rifled bore. That's why I said the Taurus Judge. It can fire shotgun shells.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But the Taurus Judge is not a shotgun. The Taurus Judge is a revolver that happens to be able to shoot a shotgun shell.
And it has
you couldn't make a Taurus Judge in a 12 gauge, I don't think.
Yeah, the barrel diameter is less than 1/2 inch too, so it doesn't count. Like if you tried to make, well, actually they did. They tried to make a Taurus Judge in 28 gauge, and the government said no.
Well, that's why I'm asking. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, and we're more than willing to try and explain it because I'm sure there's people out there listening that don't know either. And I'm not claiming to be the perfect expert. I'm trying to give you the best answer I can.
I'm reading this bill, and it even cuts out fixed box magazines, so you can't permanently fix your magazine. Semi-automatic rifle that has a fixed magazine with a capacity to accept more than 10 rounds, except for attached tubular devices designed. capable of only firing 22 long rifle ammunition. So it basically cuts out even the Remington semi-automatic rifles.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you get down to section H, which is all of the following rifles, copies, duplicates, variants, or altered facsimiles. I don't know what that word is. I sound dumb. With the capacity of any such weapon thereof. Yeah, facsimiles.
Yeah, facsimiles.
Facsimiles, okay.
Yeah, and if you're reading it, basically anything that uses those operating systems or interchangeable parts with them is banned. So basically, they've banned every single semi-automatic long gun.
Yeah, because I mean, number one, all AK types, including the following, and blah blah blah, bunch of stuff. All AR types, including the following: AR-10, AR-15, and then they just start going nuts, naming them like by country. The Armor Light M15, the Beretta AR-70, Black Rain Ordnance Scout, Recon Scout, Bushmaster, blah blah blah, Daniel Defense M4A1 rifles, blah, 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 like just all the way through.
Any pistol with a magazine outside of its grip. So again, all your techs and your max and everything else,
right?
Including ARs, AKs.
Oh man, the high point carbine. They just came out with the 10 millimeter of that thing. I wanted that so bad. Oh man, I like that high point carbine. My buddy's got a 9 mil version, and it's a good like range gun. It's just fun.
Yeah. Ugly as hell, but they work.
Oh
really
yeah,
well.
and I mean it's heavy as it can all be.
Well, I have a question based on what was just said. Wouldn't semi-auto handguns that have like a Glock have the magazine floor plates outside of the grip? Wouldn't that be banned?
No, magazine's inside the grip.
They mean there were pistols in the past. I'm trying to think of what the heck they were, but it's like you had the pistol grip and the trigger, and then the magazine went in front of that.
It's Tech 9.
Yeah, so they're talking about that type of stuff.
Yeah, and the AR and the Caltex and all that shit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's where your AR pistols would come in, because the magazine does not go inside the pistol grip. But the high point carbine, the magazine does go in the pistol grip.
But it has a pistol grip.
Right. And a detachable magazine. And it's also specifically named, like, by name. Yeah, Tavors, Augs.
Someone did their fucking research, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, and then here's the following: pistols, copy, duplicates, variants, or altered facsimiles with the capacity of any such weapon thereof. AK-47 types, blah blah blah. CZ Scout or CZ Scorpion, Draco, IO Inc. Hellpup AK-47 pistol. That just sounds like a cool name. I want a Hellpup. Is that a bullpup AK pistol, or is they just use the name Hellpup because it sounds cool?
Yeah, it's a little pistol.
So it's just like a regular AK-47 pistol.
I think so. I have to look it up.
Crank, Mini Draco, Pap, Hugo Krebs Crank pistol. All AR-15 types, including the following, blah, 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 blah. God, this is crazy. So this was what I heard them talking about this in the other chat. Like I just popped in and I heard them just like reading off names. And I'm like, what names are you reading off? They're like, oh, all the stuff that's specifically named in the ban. All the following shotguns. Boom, 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 boom. All belt-fed semi-automatic firearms, including the TNW M2HB and the FN M2495.
Yeah, it's the semi-auto 249 Sol.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
a
bummer.
heavy damn thing, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's supposed to be a freaking big ass machine gun, but it's in semi-auto.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is no threaded barrels on pistols or pistols that can accept the threaded barrel. That's all semi-automatic pistols.
Not all of them, actually. There are
Ah,
some pistols out there that don't have the capacity to have a threaded barrel.
hey,
Well,
finally, if you go down to 38A in the definitions, the term barrel shroud. Maybe the crazy lady who said it's a shoulder thing that goes up should read this. Means a shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel of the firearm so that the shroud protects the user of the firearm from heat generated by the barrel. So anything that makes a gun safer so you don't burn yourself. So they just want
yeah.
freaking barrels sticking out there so that you can burn the crap out of your hand.
Well, here's the other thing. If you read that, it looks like that may include the any M14 or M14 clone that has a uh, top part on the
heat
stock.
shield?
Yeah,
the heat shield.
Because on the shroud it says that doesn't fully encompass the barrel, which part of the stock that does not fully encompass the barrel. Well, on the Springfield M1As, some of those have wood to go over the barrel.
Okay, here's the section B. It does not include a slide that partially or completely encloses the barrel. Or number two, an extension of the stock along the bottom of the barrel, which does not encircle or substantially encircle the barrel.
Yeah,
Compensators.
But if you have a top handguard, does
If
that
you have a top
qualify?
handguard, yes, that would count.
That sucks.
Because the barrel shroud, it doesn't have to completely encircle. It could be partially or completely encircle so that the shroud protects the user of the firearm from heat.
I'll be
Like
right back.
seriously, they even said in their definition, the purpose of it is to protect the user from heat. And it's like, nah, we don't need that. Let's burn these people.
I'll be right back. I used the bathroom, all right?
All right, rock on. Have fun. People listening out there in Radio Land, there's a link. You can click the button. If you're on YouTube, what are you doing on YouTube? Come over to Gun Channels.
The semi-automatic shotgun one, did you read that definition yet?
Yeah, shotgun was up top there a little bit. Where it basically anything that has a pistol grip or a forward grip or
detachable magazine or even an internal magazine that takes more than 5 rounds.
Right.
So even the long tube Mossbergs are out.
Yep. Folding telescoping or detachable stock, pistol grip, yeah, fixed mag with more than 5, ability to accept detachable, forward grip, and grenade launcher or rocket launcher. Dude, I want my semi-auto to have a freaking grenade launcher on it. I got a Beretta AL390. Pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to put a rocket launcher on my Mossberg.
It's crazy, man. Definitions are important. The term detachable magazine means an ammunition feeding device that can be removed from the firearm without disassembly of the firearm action.
Yeah, I was reading the same line as you were reading.
The term rocket means any simple or complex tube-like device containing combustibles that on being ignited, liberate gases whose action propels the tube through the air and has a propellant charge of not more than 4 ounces. Good thing they defined what a rocket is.
Yeah, no shit. You actually have listeners on YouTube. You got 12 watching right now.
Well, it shows up. That could be from anywhere, though. Like all 12 of those could be on gun channels.
Well, I know you got Vanessa in there. She's commenting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot for some reason. Like ever since I've started Smeggies Cave, I've been getting more YouTube people, and I've been getting people that are like, "I've never heard of you before. This was fun. Like you guys are funny." And I'm like, "How the hell did you find me?"
How could you not hear the magical snowman?
Oh,
I'm back, guys.
well, I still take credit for getting her to come over to gun channels. I'll take that credit. Although I think she said someone else told her about it. That's okay.
Yeah, but you convinced her.
I'd like to think so.
Well, it's the soft white curves.
Chats I've joined. Patriots out there too. Yeah. And I get it. I mean, I know sometimes when I'm just popping in for a second or whatever, some of us are on both. Yep. You sure are. Anyways, I know sometimes, yeah, YouTube just, if I'm just popping in for a second, I'll watch stuff on there, but gun channels is better. Because you can post links and you can talk with your friends and it's not as many weirdos.
Hopefully Travis gets that
Well, there's one or two.
That gun
I
tubes
said not many. I never said 0. What about Travis? First off, which Travis? Because there's 12,000 of them.
Not Travis. I meant Night Strike.
Oh, he's not even a Travis. He's not even a Travi.
He can be mistaken for one sometimes.
Ooh, that's a low blow. Have you guys noticed? You use Instagram on your phone?
I don't have that stuff bad.
Yeah, I got Instagram. Oh. What about it?
Okay. Just recently. Yeah, we can see you, Vanessa. Anyways, when someone mentions me in a comment, like, you know how you get the little alerts up top, and it used to just be like, so-and-so mentioned you a comment, or like this one, Clover tagged you in a post. Like, okay, you can click on it, it'll take you up to Instagram. When they mention you in a comment, it like shows a little picture of like the actual picture that they mentioned you in.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. So Big Dog AG mentioned me, and it's a post from Arby's. It says, "So long and thanks for all the fish," and they spelled out 42 in ketchup. Well, probably in Arby's sauce. Yeah, they spelled it out in Arby's sauce. Who's Big Dog? Heavy B Channel follows him. Oh, look at that. He's got nothing but like dog pictures on his thing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Cool. So, anyways, it was just kind of interesting that I noticed it like just the other day. Well, because it used to, like, it only takes up a little bit of room normally, and now it's like I pull down my notification thing and it takes up a huge thing.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I'm looking at it now. It does take up a lot of damn room.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be right. There probably are more weirdos here than normal.
I think we're at least the good kind of weirdos. Van chat Sunday night. Now I'm stuck sitting here watching Instagram. All because someone mentioned to me. Okay, good. There weren't that many like new pictures.
I don't know how you do all that Instagram and stuff, man. I really don't.
You take pictures with your phone and hit a button.
Yeah. Or you
Yeah.
just look at other people's pictures and like double tap and it likes it. But yeah, I mean, I get it. If you're trying to like keep up with all of the stuff and like see everything, then yeah, it gets a bit much.
Yeah, he's right. This is the island of misfit toys, and we have an abominable snowman right here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Michael Keaton Snowman or somebody else?
Smeggies a snowman.
Yeah, but is he a Michael Keaton Snowman?
I'm gonna guess no.
Yeah, you're missing your top hat, man.
Yeah, I don't need a top hat to be alive. I'm just magic snow all by myself. So, anyways, yeah, this bill is scary. And I'm holy crap, like 16th of the way through. I'm still in all the definitions of, you know, whatever detachable magazine and pistol grip and hmm.
So what did they say, man?
Just not much noteworthy quite yet.
So this whole keeping this conversation shit rolling is not easy, is it?
It can be. It is hard when you're distracted or if you don't have much to say. Like when I do like a actual show or something, if I've thought it out a bit, especially if you have a couple different people, then it's not so hard.
Oh, at least they did. They didn't include the Remington Model 750 Woodsmaster in the van, or the Ruger Mini 30 or the Ruger Mini 14. The Ruger PC4 and PC9 are okay.
Do they not fall under the classifications of that? Like they don't
Yeah,
have any of the other features?
yeah, they don't have any of the other features that, like the original PC9 and PC4 didn't have threaded barrels, so they could take extended magazines. So I don't understand that. They don't have pistol grips. The Mini 30 and the Mini 14 can both take extended mags.
I don't think this bill, the size of the mag doesn't matter. It was the Ohio one that they cared about the size of the bill or the size of the mag.
Up there, I think it said 10 rounds was the magazine capacity.
Well, but that was just a separate. You're only allowed to have 10 round magazines. That had nothing to do with if it was classified as an assault weapon or not. Unlike Ohio, where that is part of the definition.
Under the Ohio stuff, I remember reading it said 10 if it can take
the ability.
Yeah, the ability to take more than 10 rounds.
10 or more. That's very important.
Exactly.
Because there's a difference between more than 10 and 10 or more. And I've noticed that they made that switch. And I find it interesting that they did that.
Yeah.
So, gotta be careful with that. So it's basically They should have said more than 9 because that's what they mean. But they don't want to say that because then everyone goes, "Oh my God, 9-round magazines!" But I have, California, New York, and all the other people. They all have 10-round magazines, so like people actually make them. No one makes a freaking 9-round AR mag. So that'd be a whole nother like choke point of being able to get stuff. It's just so it's that way. But here's the thing. That's why they phrased it, because the original one is more than 10. So they don't say 11 or more. They say more than 10. So then when they went with this one, instead of keeping the same terminology and just saying more than 9, they say 10 or more because it looks the same if you just glance at it real quick. You're like, oh, 10-round mags are fine. No. That's included. It's like the difference between, like greater than or equal to is different than just greater than.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this is basically the old assault weapons ban. If you look at all the guns that are exempt, are the same ones that were exempt before. So it's anything scary. Is basically what they're banning.
Yeah, is this like the old one? I thought the old one you could have a detachable magazine, and if you had like 2 of the features, then it was considered assault weapon. Because couldn't you have like a pistol grip and a detachable magazine as long as you didn't have anything else?
You could. It was
2
more.
Yeah, you could have.
But you still had a 10-round mag limit.
Right, but that's a different part though. So like, forget about the mag limit part. That's a different part of the bill. This one, if it has a detachable magazine and any of the features, then it's considered assault weapon. So you can't have a pistol grip and a detachable magazine. So this is closer to the California one.
Can't even have a low cap AK or AR.
Right. Whereas the 94, you could have a neutered AR or AK, which means you were allowed to have the pistol grip. You just couldn't have 2 features total. So detachable mag plus 2 features you were considered assault weapon. You could have 1 feature and not be an assault weapon.
That's why the Mini 14 was legal. They didn't have a pistol grip. It didn't have as far as I knew, a threaded barrel, but it did have a detachable magazine, correct?
Right. Yeah. It's all about, so you got these lists of features, pick whichever one you want. Back in the day, you could have detachable magazine plus 1 from the list. Now, you can't have any of the features if you want to have the detachable magazine. So that's the difference.
So they're doubling down.
Yeah, just making it worse.
Yeah, that's why the high point would be banned under this, because it has a pistol grip.
Right. I always thought it'd be funny is if because you've seen the California featureless rifles where it has just a regular detachable magazine, but like the weird stock or like that little fin thing, so it doesn't have a pistol grip and all the other stuff. It'd be funny to go through all of that stuff just so that you could have like a flash suppressor or something. Like just have a barrel device. You're like, oh yeah, I ripped the pistol grip off and I did all this stuff. And I attached the magazine because I want to be able to put this bird cage on.
Yeah, that's not so funny.
People do it though, man, just so they can have it.
Well, most people try and jump through all the hoops just to get the pistol grip back.
Oh, I know guys that used to put the thumb hole stocks on their guns so they could still have their bayonet lug.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think it's important to have a bayonet lug.
Well, they didn't want to cut up the end of their damn gun. Just change the stock.
No, I agree with that. I might have gone that route as well.
I remember at the end of the last band, I picked up a whole bunch of those AK Mac 90s and stuff like that were the low caps, could only take the 10 round single stack mags because they were dirt cheap, and then easy to modify, and I made a killing off those damn things.
Oh, because once the thing ended, everyone wanted just like the regular, like double stack mags, right?
Yeah.
So everyone who was stuck with the crappy single stack ones, they were just like, I don't want these anymore. I can get a real one now.
Yeah, and then I was buying them up for like $90 a piece, and I still had my FFL, and then modifying the magazine wells, putting pistol grips and the real furniture on them, and then selling them for $400 or $500.
Nice. You mind selling me one of them for $90 now?
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen. That's like I was telling people. I have a bunch of old Norinco SKSs. I bought all those when they were $80 a piece. There ain't no way in hell I'm gonna sell one now for $80.
I know you got to make a profit. I'll give you 85. Come on, $5? The hell, you can get a Big Mac or something. Good money.
You got to include the tax, man.
Okay. Oh, you're right. I'll drive a hard bargain. I'll give you $90 for it.
Okay. Well, the taxes here are 355%.
I think you just blew your budget. I think you blew your budget, Smiggy.
I just got to think about that. That's still too cheap.
Damn, I was reading, so I didn't do the math in my head. I should have said, okay.
Yeah, I got one customer that keeps coming in, and I've got a Norinco Paratrooper. It's the only one I got. And he keeps, every time he comes in, he'll raise his bid $50 and raise his bid $50. Like, nah, you're still not close.
You should at least tell him the first number. Like, it starts with this number, then it'll be closer.
Yeah, well, I figure if he comes in,
what around are you thinking? If you don't mind me asking, I mean, I have no idea what that kind of. I'm so bad at prices and stuff. Like, unless it's something I'm specifically looking to buy, like relatively in the near future, I don't even pay attention to how expensive shit is.
Well, that one is still new in the box. It was the last of the imported ones, so it's never even been fired.
So I mean, how do you know if it even works? I think that lowers the price. But I mean, is that like, is it over 1,000? Is it upper?
It's close to $1,000. I mean, it's still an SKS. It's not like I can ask $2,000 for the damn thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, I was just kind of curious. Get me in the ballpark.
Yeah, but you can still get, Yugos and stuff for $450, right around in there. You can get. Norincos are not good guns, by the way. They're just hard to get.
More collector value.
Yeah, it's because the supply of them, is gone. Because it's not the best SKS you can get. Matter of fact, it's kind of a crappy one.
Isn't it the 7.62x54R offhand?
No, it's 39. It's an SKS.
Hey Smeggy, you were talking about the AR, going all featureless or whatnot in lock mags. You can have that one feature.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty damn close to what I end up doing. Fin, fixed stock. Although I ended up doing no muzzle brake, and this is actually a locked, Patriot mag. So you actually have to break the action to be able to drop it. So using that, you probably could get away with a muzzle device if you wanted to.
Right. So you just went like 100% featureless or whatever.
Exactly. Being in California, I didn't want to screw around. I just went all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, better safe than sorry with those people. Here's the thing, what I like about the fin is when the zombies come, that fin comes off in 2 seconds. Because no one's arresting you if they're getting eaten by zombies.
Well, this one's not a fin per se. That's actually part of the grip. So I'd have to, but I have a conventional grip in my cabinet and
Are
the
you allowed to say that out loud?
Well, that's where it came with the lower parts kit, so that's where I just couldn't put it on.
Right.
He can have it, he just can't
I mean,
attach
I
it.
wouldn't put it past California that has some type of intent to construct or some crap. Like with the NFA stuff, if you have
hard to get rid of it, just throw it in the trash can.
I know. It was just kind of a joke of that. I wasn't sure. But yeah, the NFA has that kind of stuff. Like, let's say you have like every piece to make some NFA thing, even though you haven't put it together yet. If they can prove intent to construct and you don't have a tax stamp, you're in violation of the NFA. But I feel like it'd be real hard to prove intent. If you're just like, I got a box of parts, like you can't prove I wanted to put those together. But that's one of the things, especially when you're dealing with short barreled rifles. If you have, like a short upper to an AR, like whatever, a 10-inch barrel or 8-inch or whatever, and then you have a bunch of lowers that have buttstocks on them, it's like you could put the short upper on the one with the buttstock. Is that intent to build an SBR if you don't have an SBR stamp? You have to be kind of careful with that stuff, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm an FFL, and even my personal guns, like right now I have a pistol build going. So the pistol receiver is in the house, and the short-barreled upper, which is already built, I put in my shop. Because I don't want them anywhere near each other, because I do get visited by the ATF, and I don't want them to see those two together, and I don't have paperwork for it.
What I was going to say on that was, as far as intent goes, it's not do you plan to do it, it's can you do it, to be clear.
No, it's not can you do it. They have to show that you had the intent of building it.
Right. You had the will to build it. Because otherwise it wouldn't be intent, it'd be ability. Now, again, they could probably trip you up on that. I mean, if you physically had pieces to put stuff together. But then, I mean, how long down the rabbit hole do you want to go? They can start charging you for all sorts of stuff and say you had intent to build a suppressor. Oh, you have a tube. You were going to build it into a destructive device. Like, what? No, I wasn't. Yeah, you had intent to.
Now they're classifying wipes and any type of drilled freeze plug, anything like that, as suppressor parts.
Yep. And that's not good because aren't the wipes like replaceable or something? Like, isn't that like that's
You're not allowed to do it anymore. You're not allowed to replace wipes. Even if you have an old can that was made in the 50s, you're not allowed to replace the wipes in that can.
Okay, for those of us who don't know much about suppressors, what's a wipe?
It's a rubber O-ring that goes inside the suppressor that has a very small hole in the middle of it, and when you shoot, the bullet makes a flight path, and it helps stop the gas behind it.
Okay, thank you.
So it acts as like a baffle. I mean, that's how suppressors work. Is they give the gas a chance to expand and cool down before they come out the front, because that's what makes the noise like of a regular gun. Is the gases expanding and they're really hot. So if you slow them down and you cool them off, because cooling them off makes them, condense a little bit more, that it's not as loud.
Right, I'm familiar with the baffles. That's what I've heard them
refer to. So a wipe is like a flexible baffle, which sometimes wears out, right? I mean, that's the kind of the point of them. They're supposed to be
only good for a few shots. They're really just made for suppressors that are going to be used for 1 or 2 shots and then rebuilt. So it mainly for hunting suppressors, or what they used to use suppressors for in the old days. But the reason why they changed that is because when that one company that had that oil filter adapter, and that the adapter was the actual serialized part, they changed it so people couldn't change the oil filter out. So now you have to send that adapter back. They put a new Chevy oil filter on it and send it back to you.
That's crazy. So you've jumped through the hoops. You've paid your $200. You have your tax stamp. You're allowed to have a suppressor, but you can't do any maintenance to it. Like,
yeah,
only the company's allowed to mess with it.
They now consider all that stuff suppressor parts. So even if you had one of those adapters for the oil filter and you had 10 oil filters, now that oil filter is considered a suppressor part.
What if you're a mechanic?
Yeah, well, you better not have that adapter in the garage with the oil filters.
Well, could they say, like, I know a lot of people, like, they work out, they have a garage or whatever, and they work on their buddies' cars and stuff, and then they have a house, like, it's on the same property. Do you think they could be like, well, you had the thing in the house, you have oil cans in the garage, like, you had intent to build it or whatever? Yeah, even though it's stupid, you already jumped through the hoops and you paid the money.
Yeah, it's all about showing intent, you know. And also those guys on eBay that were selling the suppressor kits, which were non-drilled out freeze plugs, and they were, you know, a little cap for a flashlight body and threaded adapters, and they called them oil traps. Well, as soon as you clear a flight path of that, it's now a suppressor. So what they wanted to do was they busted the guy, and they classified all those parts as suppressor parts because he had intent.
And with some of that,
a little different because I mean he's selling it with some type of intent, but still, yeah, that's
some of that proving that it was intent also might have to do depending on where you are and what jurisdiction you're in, because like here in California, just having one of those adapters, even if you didn't have any oil filters on hand, would probably be enough to land you in prison. In other places, maybe not so much.
Well, having that adapter without the tax stamp that's a federal level thing.
Well, I mean, even if you had the tax stamp, but that's where if you didn't have, you had the adapter legally, but no oil filters, I'm sure they would still try to nail you for it.
That's what I was saying when you were talking about intent. If you have the ability to put the stuff together. That's why I said that.
Right. And that might be how it what do you call it? Like that's like the practical consequence of that. But I don't like that's not how it's written. They're supposed to prove intent. Like that's the whole point of the law.
When you're talking law, you're correct. But right now we have people enforcing opinion. So
but yeah, that's true. I mean, we're talking reality. People get in trouble for all sorts of stuff that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I'm FFL. I have lots of tax stamps of my own. I have quite a few short-barreled guns and stuff like that. But I still, even on my projects, I don't have my pistol buffer for that yet, and I don't have a tax stamp for it yet. So I'm keeping the upper for it in another building. So if they come in here, because right now my address is my business, they come in here to do a book check, and I have those two laying anywhere near each other on the table, they're going to go, what's this? Do you have the tax stamp for this? Is this, I don't want to answer any questions.
Right.
Because they're going to assume you took it apart and it was together at one point.
Nope. Never been together. Has never been attached. Doesn't even have pins in the receiver yet.
No, I'm saying that's what they're going to assume.
Buffer tube. Well, that's
I'm saying that's what they're going to assume. That's
why I make sure there's no doubt. Because it's sitting in here. It has no pins in the receiver yet. There's no pistol buffer tube on it yet because I haven't decided which one I'm going to use. And the upper is together, so it's in another building. It's not even in the house.
Right.
Oh man. Crazy that we're worried about jumping through all these hoops and following the letter of the law and being good law-abiding citizens, and they just want to crap all over us anyways.
Oh, no, they don't want to crap on us. They just want to shaft us.
They just want to take all our guns.
Well, I appreciate letting me in the chat. I showed you guys what I wanted to. I'll jump out so that there's
Oh.
room for more people.
Oh, dude,
there's lots of room. Here, there's
so
lots of
stick
room.
Around. If you got something to add, feel free.
Okay, thank you.
Smeggies Cave is mostly open. Don't be a jerk, and we're all cool. That's the only difference between a full open and a Smeggy Cave.
Good to know. Thank you.
So yeah, dude, you're welcome anytime.
And Cal, if you do you know cars offhand?
Sorry, one more time.
Do you know cars offhand?
Cars, a little bit.
Okay. For the baffling and stuff, think of a muffler.
Right. That's where I'm familiar with the technology in the new style suppressors. It was the old style that I was unfamiliar with.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, you're familiar with the more permanent type solution, but even the ones with like metal stuff, that stuff can wear out and need servicing.
Oh yeah, it's any mechanical device. If it's to work correctly, it needs to be serviced properly. And if you're not allowed to do that, then eventually you're going to have a catastrophic malfunction.
Yep. Well, I mean that's the whole thing with like baffle strikes. I mean, sometimes the bullet will hit a baffle.
Yeah, and you have to send it back to get it repaired. You're not allowed. Well, you can't replace any of the parts. But you can repair it. You just can't.
You can try and find all the little metal bits and weld it all back together yourself.
Yeah. It's one of the dumbest things ever. You already have the tube. The tube is a serialized part, but now they consider the end cap, the forecap, and everything in between.
Now let me ask you this thing, because I'm not familiar necessarily with like the practicality of owning suppressors. So sending it back to the suppressor manufacturer, is that something that most suppressor manufacturers like are cool with, and they'll just fix it for you, or do they
all
charge
do it
a bunch? Or
no, 99.9% of them won't charge you a dime. You pay to ship it there, and generally they'll pay to ship it back, and they'll send you a box. You drop it in. Generally the turnaround times are really quick too.
Okay, so that's I was just curious if it was one of those things like, if it was industry standard to almost have like a lifetime warranty on suppressors. Like anything happens, you can send it back to them and they take care of it for you.
No, yeah, a lot of suppressor companies though, if you bang a baffle, the first one or two times they're going to fix it for you. After that, they're going to start asking questions. What adapter are you using? What thread pitches are you using? What kind of gun are you using the sawing? Because they're getting tired of repairing it.
Well, and just to help you out, because maybe you didn't know you were using the wrong thing, and that's a bunch of hassle. That it's costing them time and money a little bit, but they could just be trying to help you out as the consumer, going, this thing sucks. Every like 2 or 3 times I take it out, I have to go ahead and send it in because something happens.
You see that a lot with people that use thread adapters. Thread adapters are notoriously bad. It's really hard to get them straight, and you also see it a lot on AKs because the bores on AKs normally are not straight with the threads, of course.
Right. Well, that's like I know with like some of the AKs, sometimes it's not the hole doesn't quite line up with the end of the barrel type stuff. Like especially some of the other ones where they're just cranking them out real quick.
Yeah, I just rethreaded my AMD 65. I got it, and it still had a factory barrel and had a pinned and welded muzzle brake. So I got the tax stamp on it and threaded it, and it's nowhere near close. Nowhere near.
Yeah. So Rooster's talking about the chat over on gun channels. Yeah, the thing that says like hangout.google or whatever, that brings you into like this video. If you just want to listen along and type, Rooster's already in there. Anyone else on YouTube, just come over to gunchannels.com/Smeggies_cave. I'll get you there. But yeah, if you're using a phone, like turning it sideways, you can see like more of the chat box. It still kind of cuts off part of it or whatever, but it's workable. That's one of the things that's it is what it is right now. You know, under construction still.
Hey, G-Webs did a damn good job. I'll give him that, man.
Yeah, I'm liking the streamlined gun channels.
Same here. I wasn't on it very long on the old setup, but definitely is nice. It's a lot easier to find where things are now.
Yep, and when in doubt, hang out in Smeggies Cave because I'm normally always in here. I pop over to the other ones, but I normally keep at least one tab open that's in Smeggies Cave. But anyway, so what are we talking about? If the CT law for parts that can be used to make an assault weapon are illegal, they say you imply your intent when you bought a non-assault rifle, as long as those parts are under one person's control. What? So you can't even have like parts to things? It's dumb.
Yeah, if you buy say you buy a Mini 14, and then you buy the old school Mini 14 stock, and you have it, well, now you've just committed a crime.
Without even knowing.
Okay, can I just get a sanity check real quick? It is Saturday evening right now, right?
Yeah.
Like after dinner time-ish, depending on where you are?
Depending on where you are, yeah.
Okay.
It's 7:42 Eastern where I am.
Okay. Just making sure. Vanessa just said, I enjoy the early morning Smeggy Caves. I just wanted to make sure, like, it's not early morning right now, is it? I think she's talking in the past when I had some ones that I didn't even start the thing till like 2 a.m. and then let it run for 8 hours. So it goes all the way up through the morning.
Well, from what I have seen, from the chats, that Vanessa has joined in on, or the text chats, I don't know if she's either a night person, an insomniac, or what, but I think she tends to run the, like 10 p.m. Eastern through about 8 a.m. Eastern, type time frame, not necessarily the, afternoon, evening stuff.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy and like missed 12 hours.
We had a bet she was a robot.
I don't think so, because she talked about like having to drive places for stuff that robots wouldn't have to go to. So I don't think she's a robot.
And she's a military vet, I believe, Air Force, I believe. If I'm wrong, I apologize, Vanessa.
Yeah, but robots don't sleep.
She says she has insomnia.
I don't sleep often anymore either. So did I turn into a robot?
Okay, she said she's a vet.
How would you know if you're a robot or not? Like if you're thinking robot, you would be programmed to think you were a human. How would you know?
Ooh, deep thoughts.
Especially if like you're an organic robot, so like even if you cut yourself, you're like, well, it looks like a person.
Like, unless you have an unlimited power cell inside you, you'd have to recharge at some point. That would be a clue.
You're pulling Terminator Salvation right now, man. I'm a man.
I mean, it like Battlestar Galactica, right? Where those robots were like people.
Yeah.
Okay, now I do think she's a robot. She says she's retired Air Force, which tells me she slept a lot.
Well, maybe maybe that's the problem. She slept too much early life, and then now all the sleeping's been used up.
Well, she's a teacher.
Yeah, with good at mathematics. I am not a robot. I will teach you mathematics.
See, I told you.
Rapid fire trigger.
Congrats, Vanessa, on the master's degree. I'll tell you that right now. I'm working to get my stuff too, so congrats.
Yeah, I have a degree in engineering. I drive a truck.
What kind of engineering?
Electrical engineer.
Ugh.
Damn.
The bad type.
It's not a bad type. I mean, my first job out was for Intel, and they put me on a loading dock because Intel at the time was buying up every engineer they could find. Didn't matter what field they were in. They were getting everybody they could, and then just putting them in busy work.
I don't know, Smeggy. That's right. I'm a civil, and I spend most of my days, designing roads and rail lines.
Target.
So every time you're in a traffic jam, you're cussing out people like me.
Oh, civil engineers design targets, mechanical engineers design weapons.
Exactly. It's a self-reoccurring cycle because every time one of our stuff gets blown up, then we get a job again to redesign it. And
okay, so we are the living part of this joke because I'm mechanical, he's electrical, you're civil. So there was a mechanical, electrical, and civil engineer arguing, and they had all agreed that God was an engineer, just because, I mean, he made all the stuff, so he's got to be some type of engineer. They couldn't agree on what type. So talking about the human body, the electrical engineer says, well, he's got to be electrical. I mean, look at the nervous system, all the electrons and the electrical signals and stuff. Like, you got to be electrical and know all that stuff. So the mechanical one goes, nah, dude, he's totally mechanical. Look at like the joints and the muscles, stresses and strains and how much force, and that's totally mechanical stuff. The civil engineer goes, nah, dude, he's civil. Who else would put a recreational area right next to a waste depository?
That's perfect. Thank you. That's a good laugh.
Fucking engineering jokes. Jesus.
All right, so there's an engineer, a physicist, and a mathematician, and they are given a red rubber ball and asked to find the volume. So the mathematician, measures the ball, plugs it into the formula, figures out the volume. The physicist fills up a beaker of water, drops the ball into the water, measures how much water is displaced. The engineer looks up the serial number in his red rubber ball index.
There you go.
Which, of course, he always carried in his pocket.
Well, obviously, you got to have a pocket reference.
Well, and that's in one pocket, and the other pocket is the protector with your pens and this kind of stuff, and your ruler in it.
Oh, slide rule.
There you go.
I went to on my badge that hangs around my neck. I went to clipping all my pens on that. It works out pretty good.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Oh, good Lord. There's another future engineer in the chat.
Who?
Out on the gun channel side, Rupan is going for mechanical engineering. Yes, good job.
That's what I wanted to take, but they didn't have it at the college I'm going to. So I'm stuck with criminal justice.
Dun dun do 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 do. Sorry, that was from earlier. We were talking about Law and Order and how there's just like 5 billion Law and Orders.
That's true. They even got one in the UK.
All they do is solve stabbing cases, or what?
Who knows? I may save up money once I am able to save up a bunch of money and just go and get a engineering degree.
It's pretty obvious none of us went to broadcasting school.
Well, that's all. Why we're all not hardcore anti-gun left-wingers, because that seems like the only kind that be successful in broadcasting.
Yep, 5 minutes of fame, get the voice out there, so on and so forth.
And so I don't know. I did a pretty good job turning a 10-minute video into 40 minutes earlier today.
That's true. Well, no, that was not a. With all the recapping, it couldn't have been 10 minutes.
I knew it wasn't going to be. Normally my goal for Every Second Matters is to do like a 10 to 15 minute video to summarize everything that's happened over the past month. I knew that this month would not be that short, especially once I started seeing like, because I open up the different links like in little tiny tabs, and that way I can just like close them when I'm done, so I know that I covered it. And oh man, those tabs were like super tiny. I was like, oh crap, it's gonna take a while.
We all have mechanical brains,
which I thought I knew just because I hadn't seen it before, and I try and keep up specifically on Michigan stuff. But I was reaffirmed that Michigan has not jumped on the anti-gun bandwagon and introduced anything. There's no bump stock ban, no, raising the age to 21, like any of that stuff. They've just stayed
that's good to hear.
Quiet.
Yeah, see, now you know why the early watch took a week or so off during this time.
Had to do the research.
No, because they didn't want to have 5-hour-long freaking shows.
Oh man, yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully, I mean, I'm keeping the mindset that most of the stuff will probably fail and get shot down, but I'm not banking on it.
Yeah, that's part of the issue. They're throwing everything at the wall, see what sticks, and they're gonna throw everything they possibly can, no matter how crazy it is, and then go when it all starts getting knocked out, and then go, well, you got to give us something,
So there's this meme, and it says when media and politicians try to talk to gun owners about guns, and it's got a picture of Borat, and he goes, "What type of AR-15 is this?" And then he goes, "This is a tortoise." Okay, I thought it was funny. Whatever.
I thought it was funny.
Borat's always funny.
Wait, is this true?
What?
The gunman used only 10-round magazines.
Where?
Parkland.
Yeah, it was only 10-round mags. It's all he could fit in his bag, I guess.
Holy crap. That's the first I've heard of that, so...
Yeah, he was just sped up his mag changes, That 10-round, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you have a 60-round mag, a 30-round mag, or a 10-round mag. I mean, you could shoot the damn thing just as fast.
Yeah, Masada Ayub had a great article. It was in Handgunner, or American Handgunner, is that what it's called? No, I think it's just Handgunner. It's a pretty good magazine. I enjoy it. And he writes an article like once a month talking about some stuff. But he had this thing, and he was talking about basically like the myth of like rushing the bad guy during a mag change. Now, you can have all types of theoretical stuff of it. It might work, it might not, whatever. But he went ahead and found examples of like times people have tried, or basically like times that a bad guy was stopped because he was like rushed by good guys. And on some of the ones that like the people will point out is like, oh, he like ran out of ammo and then they rushed him and that's when they tackled him or whatever. Come to find out, the thing just jammed, whatever, like halfway through the magazine or something. So it wasn't even like he was changing mags. And then there was other ones where like he did eventually get tackled, but that was like after like the third or fourth mag change, and like the first two people that rushed him still got shot, but the third guy got him or something. Like all this different stuff. It was really well written. It's got to be archived somewhere. But if you just look up like Masada Ayub, you know, mag change myth or something like that. I don't know what it would be called exactly. But man, that was one of those articles I like reread like 2 or 3 times. Like this is good. 'Cause, I mean, he had very good points, and he specific examples of times that you know people rushed him, and it's either the gun was jammed, it wasn't even that he was in a mag change, or people rushed him when he did still have bullets and they shot him a couple times, but the other guy got him or whatever. Like doing something tends to always be the best strategy. In fact, this is going off to a different thing I saw. They were doing a thing like an active shooter thing, and everyone had it's the not paintball but the munitions. So there's all these people like sitting. It was like a college like auditorium kind of place.
It was a classroom, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a
and like they had like different people like having guns, and like the one dude just couldn't stop touching his stuff and all this other crap.
No, not that one. I know what you're talking about. But it's kind of similar to that. So this one was only the bad guy had a gun. So he came in and was shooting a bunch of people or whatever, and they all tried to like hide under their desk or run away. And he got 10 of them, let's say. I don't know the number exactly. He got a certain number of them. Then the second time, I don't know if it was the same people or whatever, however, they did it again where a bad guy was the only one with the ammunition gun. But the people in the classroom, they had given them all tennis balls, and those were supposed to simulate like, books, staplers, phones, like anything you have laying around you. And basically comes in and starts shooting, and they all start throwing these tennis balls at him. Now, tennis balls don't hurt when they hit you, but just by having all those distractions, like he only got like 3 people or something. So it's like just that it has to be instantaneous, but it's like I'm fighting back, I'm doing something. And if everyone has that mentality, like you can normally stop them, even if you're, way at a disadvantage. And you wouldn't think throwing in an eraser at someone, like that's not going to hurt them. No. But our human instinct, when our eyes see something moving fast, we look at it. It's a reflex. And if something hits you in the face or is coming near your face, you're going to put your hand up to block it. And if you're doing that, you're not pulling the trigger. So it was really eye-opening of like, basically it was like debunking the like run and hide myth. It's like, no, it's fight back first. Like that's the, barricade first. Like that's great. If you can't even get into the room, that's a good way of doing it. Like, okay, good. Barricade's probably a good way, or running away if you can do it safely if he's not around you. Stuff. Those are still good options. But as soon as you get confronted with, all right, he's attacking right now, the best option to do is not hide under the desk or like scream and cry. It's throw shit at him and like rush him. And unfortunately, even in that scenario, a couple people still get it. I mean, that's the way it is. But
the people that are fighting or the people that are just hiding?
Well, it's even the people fighting, like throwing stuff, or even like running at it. Like and this was a real life example. This is going back to the Masada Ayub, where it was like 3 people ran at him and he shot the first 2. And the third one's the one that was able to like tackle him. And the first, I don't even know if the first 2 died or if they just got injured or whatever. So it's like, either way, like, yeah, they were harmed and they may have even been killed. But at least by doing something, because it was like everyone in the room was like, nope, this ain't happening. We're stopping it. Kind of like the plane one. What the hell was that? When they charged the dudes who took the plane. Like they at least, yeah, it still crashed and it's still like the people died and it was very sad, but at least it didn't like hit someplace else that had a bunch more people in it.
Yeah, it's like the French train when the guy come out of the bathroom with the AK and the handgun, and the 3 Americans that were just happened to be on the French train in another car asleep heard the couple rounds go off, and they immediately from asleep woke up and started running towards him, come right into the car. And luckily at the time he had a jam, or he wasn't very proficient with an AK, and they tackled him. And one guy got him in a rear naked chokehold and rolled him up on top of him. The other two guys got the guns away from him. Then the guy reached down and had a knife and started stabbing the guy that had him in a chokehold. And he let go of him, got him spun around, and got him again. And the guy was not able to kill anybody, because 3 people got up and ran right at him.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it? There's a movie about that. I think it's coming out soon.
Yeah, it was a guy on leave from the military, from the U.S. military, and 2 friends, vacationing in Europe, and they just happened to be on that train. Luckily, they were.
Yep. But it's just a reminder, just do something, fight back somehow. And the problem is getting everyone with that mentality, then that it greatly reduces any damage that can be done.
Yeah, I mean, human nature is some people are going to fight, some people are going to freeze, and some people are going to cower. You can't help that. It's human nature, but try to get people trained to that. When you see something like that starting to go down, just run at them, Of course, if you're in immediate danger, the first thing is run, hide, fight. So if you can get out of the situation, get the hell out of the situation, especially if you're unarmed. If you don't have any other recourse, if you're about to get shot, fight.
That's where, depending on where you are, knowing the terrain better than the other person, you can get a little bit of an advantage, if you're the unarmed or underarmed, because that's where the firearms are great at distance, but if you can, force someone to have to come right up to you, that's where, like, say, a sharp corner in a hallway or something, you can blitz them before they can have a chance. But that's still iffy, and that's definitely not a first case scenario.
Well, like I said, that all started because of the myth or the misconception that, if they have to change the mags more often, that gives more chance of someone to jump them and fight back.
Yeah, and you'd have to know exactly when they're about to reload. Because how do you know when someone's firing shots and you're trying to hide, trying not to get shot? 1, you're going to have to be dangerously close. 2, you're going to have to know exactly when they run out of ammo, so you're going to have to be paying attention to it.
Yeah, hope they're using the thing with the clip. Ba-ching!
Yeah, yeah, like your head's ringing. Okay, if you're in an active firing situation, one thing you have ringing in your ears, everything's starting to get fuzzy. You have little stars flashing and in front of your eyes because adrenaline's starting to boil. A lot of times you don't even hear gunshots.
Not enough to count them either.
And that's where, even if you can count them, there's no way to know how many rounds are in their magazine.
Yeah, like I could have 2 10-rounders, right? Dump 8 rounds and then just pop a new one in and not drop the mag and just keep on. You think he has, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or hell, a second gun. He may drop one gun and pick up another gun, a New York reload, and just, you really, it's really hard to tell.
And I think that comes from, it passes the sniff test. Like it seems to make sense, and movies would reinforce that, because every time, like, bad guy shooting at the hero of the movie and he's hiding behind a car door or whatever, which freaking doesn't stop bullets at all. Because I mean, come on, the thing's like 1/8-inch thick aluminum. Come on, that ain't stopping nothing. Anyways, that's just one of my pet peeves. So, bad guy shooting a good guy, bang, 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 and like, oh crap, I ran out of bullets, and then good guy gets to run out and judo flip them and do whatever and like go flying through the air, like all that kind of stuff in movies. Like, yeah, obviously it's exaggerated a bit, but I think people see that and are like, oh, like that's what you do, like hide till he needs a reload, and then once he needs a reload, you have plenty of time to go, cover those 10 feet or 20 feet that he is away from you and grab him and punch him and do whatever you need to do. Like,
they
no,
tried to roll in. They tried to roll in the 21-foot rule too, and I mean, even then, on a reload can, like, with a pistol, put it like this: with a pistol, it'll take you about a second if you know what you're doing. Okay, for someone to clear 21 feet, it's going to take about 3 seconds.
Right? Yeah, the 21-foot is for like as if someone's charging you, that's how long it takes to, get your weapon up out of the holster, like draw your weapon, bring it forward and pull the trigger.
Yep, based on
which takes longer than doing a reload.
Right.
That's for talking about the multiple weapons. I can't remember what movie it was, but I did see one, God knows. Yeah, where they had, 2 pistols. They ejected the mag out of one, and the person heard it. They stuck their head out and they shot him with the second pistol.
Yep. That's what they used to do in World War II and stuff. The Germans started learning when you hear the pling of the
that's a myth.
Garand clip. They would just pick one up and flick it.
You can't hear that during a battle. Someone wrote about that a long time ago, and it turns out it's a myth. Yeah, it makes a loud ding sound, but think about it. Nobody had hearing protection. Everybody's shooting guns. You're not going to hear an M1 Garand clip go flinging out of a rifle. You're just not, especially from 100 feet away. You're not going to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, on a one-on-one scenario, maybe you can hear it, but if there is more than a one-on-one, you're definitely not going to hear it.
And even if you do, was it the dude on the left or the dude on the right?
Yeah, exactly.
And especially in a situation like that, like, isn't that what the military does? Is when, I know it because I play Counter-Strike, and there's a button to push that makes your guy say, "Cover me, I'm reloading." So it's like, that's exactly what, if one dude's empty, like his buddy's sitting there looking out for him. That's the whole point. So when the other guy pokes out, the guy who, can get him or whatever. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those that it may have a kernel of truth. The idea that it happened like, whatever, 1,000 times a day, like, no, that was not the norm. But I would not be surprised if there was like a situation or a story that is based on like a true thing that happened, whether they were close enough or, like you said, it's like a one-on-one or a one on a couple, but like only one person's the one that's had the clip shoot out or like whatever it is.
I believe it was one-on-one. Like a lot of the from what I understand, a lot of the Germans learned that when you heard that sound, they were going for a stripper clip to pop back into M1 Garand. Perfect time to hit them or try to hit them.
Well, that story actually came from the Pacific Theater about the Japanese rushing, foxholes and shit like that. But Ian from In Range, they did a lot of research on it, and they found the who originally wrote the articles and everything else, and then the articles were written, and it was actually hearsay, and they could never prove it. They could never find an incident where it was actually used. And you got to think about it. Even one-on-one, if you're in reasonably close quarters, it would probably be maybe inside of a building or urban warfare, something like that, or really close in the jungle. And if you just got done firing a 30-06, one, you're not going to be able to hear anything. Two, the other guy probably his head's ringing too. Nobody wore ear protection. We think of shooting now because we all wear ear pro and we're all well protected. But think about those guys. They have 30-06 rounds going off inches from their head. The guy next to you is shooting too. The guy over from you is shooting. You can't hear shit for days.
I'm
So I heard it
surprised.
from somewhere. I didn't know it came from that.
Okay, there's a good video on this subject entirely. It's by two British guys over in England. They went and tested the whole theory of actually seeing whether someone could actually rush a guy who's reloading a Garand after they hear the ping. You should check it out. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna say I feel bad for Rupin because he's fired a saw from inside of an 1165, fired out a tiny window. Wasn't nearly as loud as firing a 10.5 Faxon gunner barrel with a muzzle brake in a 200-yard house.
I think
because he said that earlier, he fired some stuff in a shoot house and was like,
yeah,
you know.
I fired an AR pistol with an 11-inch barrel in a shoot house, and I had ear pro on, okay, and it was so loud that it made my eyes wobble and like my nose hurt. It was horrible. You could not concentrate.
Well, that may not be sound. That may have been the concussion force.
I've forgotten to put my ears back on a couple times while shooting out in the backyard. And the AK is a little louder than the AR. I can tell you that with certainty.
Well, by that sound, we were just talking about shooting a break inside a house or something like that. But think about, have you ever fired off like a Mosin or a 30-06 and forgot your air pro?
The 30, the Setney? Yes, I have.
Yeah, all you hear is
and that's 308. It's not 30-06, but you know, it's.
So I use a 30-06 for hunting, and I don't wear ear pro when I'm hunting. And yeah, I know it's bad for my ears, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's one shot outdoors every 3 or 4 years. I'm not really a good hunter. I see deer every year, but not very many bucks in the area we're in.
Well,
you know, especially with the new antler restrictions, like I gotta wait for at least a frickin' 6-point.
I have some earplugs for hunting that have a very small little teeny hole in the middle of them, so that you can still hear just fine. But when you fire the gun, it closes a baffle, but you can still hear fine with them in. They're real comfortable.
Doesn't Surefire make a set?
Sorry.
You go ahead, man.
I was gonna ask Russ, what brand are those? Because I might have to look into those.
I bought them at Sportsman's Warehouse, but they are non-electric, self-regulating hunting earplugs. That's all I can tell you. They're aluminum on one side, and then they have like a spongy rubber ear thing on the other. But it just has a diaphragm in it, so when the pressure outside gets stronger than the pressure in your ear, it closes off. So when you fire a gun, it just shuts it off.
I might need that because that's for hunting with my 7mm mag. I don't know if I want to do that. No ear pro.
Don't.
Yeah, I have a ATR 30-06, and it has a brake on it, and there's no way in hell I'd ever shoot that thing without something in my ears.
What I was gonna say was, doesn't a Surefire make a set that's like you can like put in or something for like $20, and has like a little piece you can pop in and out depending on what you're doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen those before where it's like, but yeah, that doesn't have a baffle. It's like a foamy piece you put in, and then that it gives you like some protection, and there's a hole in the middle, like you can still hear people talking or whatever. But then you push this little like plastic cap, like you push that into the hole, and then it gives you like even more protection. I don't know like the numbers. Let's say like with the little cap out, and it just like hangs, like you just fold it up and put it in so it hangs there. But if you pop it out, it reduces like 10 decibels, and you push the thing in, it reduces 30 or whatever. I don't know the exact thing, but you know, my buddy's got a pair. I don't know if his is Surefire, but I think that's the same type of thing.
It looks like a what do you call it? Hearing aid.
Yeah, and then you either have the thing like you either have it open so you can hear better, or you push it in for more protection.
Yeah.
But with that, like, so for the hunting aspect, so then like you're sitting there with it out, and then when like the deer walks up, you're gonna sneak your hand up to your ear and push that little cap in and then shoot. Like, that's the thing. You're not really gonna have time to do that, or you don't want to scare them away or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I like the ones I have, because
I like that auto. Yeah, that is pretty neat. I think I'll look into that as well.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you letting me on the chat. I think Tardot just went live with clearing the chamber, so I'm probably going to jump over to that one.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. See you.
yeah, I gotta take off my headset and be social with the family.
Good luck.
Yeah.
See you, man.
But yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, later.
How's your goal coming, Night Strike?
It's not.
Oh yeah, you're get you to Tulsa.
Yeah, it's not. You know, it went up a little bit the other day, and then just nothing. I've been plugging it as much as I can, but quite honestly, I'm not very optimistic.
Well, you're never optimistic. You're always a Debbie Downer.
I'm a realist. And unfortunately, reality isn't as nice as optimism.
You're a pessimist.
No, I'm a realist. Different.
See, I'd like to say, a pessimist sees the glass half empty, an optimist sees the glass half full, an engineer sees the glass twice as big as it needed to be.
Well, that's
yeah, we're going back to engineering jokes.
Well, then you need to engineer me a better glass.
Okay. I can do that.
He's gonna need them specs, man. Yeah, give him the specs. How big, how tall, how wide, everything.
Yeah, I got to give him numbers because he's a numbers guy.
Well, hell yeah, dude. That's how it works.
Yep.
You put together a bid pack for me, and I'll get it for you.
A what?
A bid pack. Like a bid package. Like when you send it to the different companies and say, this is the work I want done, and then they all tell you how much it's going to cost.
Right.
And then you pick the company you want to go with. But that's got all the specs and stuff you're looking for. So that's what I need.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite there yet.
A realist sees the glass and asks for vodka. Nice.
That's how it is.
On a real note, you saying Night Strike and your Friday Night Strike, you needed, what was it, you said between 3 and 10 terabytes or something, hard drives?
No, I was saying that for GunTube, I'm probably gonna need, I don't know, anywhere between a couple of 8, 6, or 10 terabyte hard drives. And they're expensive.
So that's the capacity plus you're going to need 8 of them? 8 to 10?
Probably, because what I have to do is I have to RAID them together and turn them into one giant hard drive.
Right.
Just to be able to store the amount of data that we're looking at. Because you have to, what people don't normally realize, because people don't actually pay attention to the things they do sometimes, is your videos take up hard drive space. Whether it's on your phone or on your camera, it's still taking space on that memory card or whatever you have it on. And when you upload it to the internet, whatever hosting site you're using has to have the space available to have that video uploaded to. So right now on GunTube, I've got a limit of 2 terabytes for the videos right now, and that is way not enough. It's okay for just testing and for having people try out GunTube. It's okay for that, but as far as uploading your entire YouTube archive to GunTube, I swear to God, I will find out where they live and say mean things to them if they do that.
So, do you have like a ballpark number of how many? Just to get it running and be sustainable.
Well, I haven't ran the numbers entirely yet on that because right now I'm still stress testing to see whether the software can take it. If not, I have to get some proprietary software. And yes,
Okay.
there is proprietary software out there for this stuff. I just don't want to have to pay for the licenses for it.
Okay.
Because it doesn't do it nearly as nice.
All right. How much do these hard drives cost?
I think that I'm not sure on the 6 and the 8 terabytes, but I think the last time I was looking at a 10 terabyte hard drive, they were like $300.
Okay.
And remember, I'm not looking at getting just different brands. When you do a RAID array, you want to have
the same brand. I know
the same brand, the same exact model. Technically, doesn't have to be the same production. The same production. So that means it doesn't need to be produced the same week, the same month. It just needs to be the same model and brand.
Okay.
It's just shit. It's expensive. I think I may have gotten way too ambitious with it. Oh well.
I don't think you did, dude. I think you're trying something because people are screwing other people over, and you know what? At least you're stepping up. And he who will not be named promised something similar, and I ain't seen nothing about that, nor has anybody else. So,
who has not been named? Are you talking about that Liber TV thing?
I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just,
He's got a website up for it now and a Vimeo video.
Well, hey, I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying, at least you're trying.
Well, all I'm going to say is at least I have a proof of concept that is up online right now and working technically. So,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That in and of itself is worth it.
Ooh, Rush is showing off one of his AMDs. Nice.
I thought he had to go eat with his family.
Yeah, he posted a link in the chat.
Oh. Hey, do you know what website you were looking at for those hard drives offhand so I can take a peek?
Newegg.
Oh, Newegg? Under components?
Yeah, I can link you which one I was looking at because I'm going to need a couple of these.
All right.
I was looking at getting those. They are expensive, but the thing is, they work really well when you're rating them together.
Were you looking at getting hard drive protection?
What?
Hard drive protection? Were you looking at getting that?
No.
No?
Because the type of RAID array I'm going to use, you can lose 1 or 2 disk drive. You can lose 1 or 2 drives and recover the data anyways.
All right.
So.
No, I was just asking, you know what I mean? Also, and whatnot. The reason is, I'm supposed to get a refund check and whatnot, and I might be able to help you out. I'm not going to swear to anything, but I might be able to help you out.
Any help would be appreciative. Right now, I'm doing what I can with what I have available to me. And if all I have available to me is my current dedicated server and a 3 terabyte hard drive in there, if you're going to ask what happened, well, why I only have 2 terabytes available, so I'm using the other terabyte for regular websites.
Hey, I'm not judging you, man. All I'm saying is, no, when I get my refund check and whatnot, so long as the school, my college I go to, doesn't screw me the fuck over.
Oh, they will.
Well, I've already been there, but like I said, so long as they don't screw me over seriously and whatnot, I'm gonna save this and whatnot. Do you have the link to donate or anything?
I've got a PayPal.me link. If you want to use that, that's on my website, nightstrike.com.
All right.
There.
Okay.
It's the one on the way right. See it?
On the what? The right?
You see where it says check me out on these platforms? The one on the way right is the PayPal.me link. And if you want to donate directly, that's the best way to do it. That.
On your okay, hang on. Check me out on these platforms, and it's the little PayPal symbol.
Yeah. See it?
I see you.
That's the best way. If you don't want to deal with anything else like Patreon or any of the other stuff.
No, I'll put it in my favorites, and like I said, I'm not going to make you no promises, but if I got some, at least I can give you enough for one. You know what I mean? Since everybody else seems to be more worried about buying a pistol or some other bullshit like that. You know what I mean?
I'm not expecting anything, so I'm good.
Yeah, but at least I'm willing to help. You know, if I can, because I know it's hard and I'm dealing with my own problems. But at the same time, if I can help others, I'm more than willing to. You know what I mean?
Yep. Just be responsible is all I ask.
Hey, that's fine, man. Ruben.
Ruben is asking, do I only need the drives? Oh, no. I need more than just the drives, but the drives are half of the cost. There's also, I'm going to get a 2U server, and 2U means it's the form factor. I'm hoping to get one with a decent amount of RAM in it, so I don't have to get more RAM. And I'm hoping to get it with the processor, so all I'll need is the hard drives. But again, that server is going to be kind of expensive too. But it's... you know how Jaeger went and... I hate to use him as an example, but I'm going to at this point because it's part of the conversation. There's a correlation. He went and crowdfunded for like $50,000 to do his whole Libra TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you pay someone to do it, yeah, that's how much it's going to cost. for me to do it myself, because I'm doing it all myself anyways, it's probably going to cost me half or a quarter of that. But most of that money is going into just hardware.
I see what you're saying.
You know, yes, I will have to pay bandwidth fees and hosting fees, but I've already cleared that with the current data center I'm with, because they're pretty good and they will cut me a deal. So anyone who's willing to cut me a deal, I'd rather do business with.
Definitely, man.
And the other point is, they're not in New England. They're not in any of the northern states that would cave to pressuring from liberals. They're in North Carolina. So they're literally just like a 3 or 4 hour drive from me.
Okay.
So if I have to go up there and do any sort of work to it, then I'll road trip.
Do it and be back by dinner, man, or lunch.
No, not by lunch. Dinner, maybe. It just depends on. No, not even dinner. No, I'll be back for breakfast probably.
Okay.
No, but
Nice. I got that stuff saved in my computer and stuff, and I'll see what I can do for you, man. Did you hear me?
yeah, I heard you.
Okay. So, what's new?
Nothing. Smeggy just went all quiet on us.
Oh, I'm watching Tardot.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yay! He's alive.
Yeah, I'm listening. I got one ear of my headphones on, and then I got the Tardot chat up on my phone.
I'm disappointed.
Both you guys ramble on about hard drives and blah blah blah, whatever's. I just didn't have anything to add.
You should know all about this stuff, considering you played Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I did play Counter-Strike quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would say semi-professionally.
Yeah, well,
I did receive, not monetary compensation, but prize-winning compensation for playing a video game. So that counts as being a professional video game player. I'm going with it.
I didn't get a prize, but I did play semi-professionally too. Good old Cal. If anybody knows what Cal is, it's the Cyber Athletic League. It's not around anymore.
That was 90s stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
I had a teacher, I think, did that when I was in school.
I played Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat.
Wow.
One is a game, counter-terror, military versus counter-terrorists, or military versus terrorists, and the other one is, what is it? It's World War II. So
I know what Counter-Strike is. It got banned in a whole bunch of countries and shit. I remember.
Yeah. And then there's Day Defeat Source, where it's just World War II. It's pretty fun.
Wasn't it the precursor idea for, was it Medal of Honor?
No, Medal of Honor was still around.
Hey, Phoenix, what's up, dude?
Hey, man.
It's the guy from everywhere. Haven't we kicked you out of our country yet? Oh, wait, no, you're in Canada now, right?
No, I'm moving in June.
Why can't you just pick a place and stay there?
Long story.
You know, if you stop doing the things the wrong way, you know, you might actually be able to get somewhere.
But whoa, what's he doing wrong, Night Strike?
Everything. And Rupan's here. What's going on, Rupan?
Hey, drop your weapons. Drop your weapons.
Never.
Drop your weapons.
With my
Never.
cold dead hands.
You played Dave Defeat, right? Those assholes used to run around all day when it first came out, yelling at people, saying drop your weapons and team killing you with a shovel. Fucking assholes that used to piss me off so much.
I didn't deal with them. Anybody that said drop your weapons, I shot him in the head. I was
an original Counter-Strike beta tester.
The only reason I would ever drop my weapon in Dave Defeat is so I can pick up like the MG42 that some German dropped. Let's be honest. If all you're doing is carrying around, if you're just carrying around a Thompson, but an MG42 just magically appears right at your feet, which are you going to rather have? Would you rather have a Thompson submachine gun with like 2 magazines left, or would you rather have the MG42 with full ammo?
I'd rather just have the MG42 anyways, just because of the noise it makes.
Right? And the fact in that game that gun is just, yeah.
Yeah. BFG Movies. Did you see he did a semi-auto MG42 build?
I've actually been contemplating doing one myself.
Oh, man. He's got me all fired up, but I don't have the money to do that shit, man.
I was wondering, is it still illegal if I make it bump fireable?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're going to... I mean, you can use an AR trigger. They have the AR trigger kit and the AR-15 trigger bolt. It works there, the semi-auto fire bolt, but I don't know if you're going to...
It might be able to bump fire.
Yeah, you're going to bump fire it by hand, so whatever. I mean, you can bring it over to Mac and have him bump fire it.
Or you know what I could do? I could, you know, if I do get one of those, I could just get the the aircraft gun mount for it. And you know the what is it? The bipod? Yeah, the anti-aircraft bipod for it. And you don't even need to bump fire it because that'll just help you do it anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen the BFG Movies channel guy. You ever seen that guy?
Yeah, I've seen him.
He's kind of crazy, and he says a lot of weird stuff. He dresses up as he's got like his wife's channel. They do fool around on that. He's got another channel. It's like another Reddit channel he does. I love the builds, man. The builds are awesome.
Yeah, I've looked at doing the whole, you know, MG42, or actually, Jared, you're gonna you know, have a shit fit, but I would only get the MG42 kit, or it's the Yugo M52 technically.
Yeah.
But I'd get that kit and then just get the top plate and the barrel and just make it an MG3 because the MG3 is better.
Are you guys talking?
Because the MG3 is an ammo I can actually find.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did in the video. He got the MG3 top cover, and he got the barrel from the MG3.
Yeah. So at that point, it's.
What, you need a feed tray too? Does the MG42 have a feed tray?
The feed tray is part of the top cover.
Yeah. All right.
The feed tray and the top cover are both one item. What you do is you just replace the top cover, you replace the barrel, and voila, you have converted the 42 to an MG3. Much better gun, in my opinion, because 7.62 by 51 or 308 all day long.
Well, either way, you lose because you're not going to get an original. You know what I mean? So either way, you're losing. I mean, I may as well have a caliber that you can get. You know? I mean, I don't know. Some people like Squib. He can reload 8mm 8mm all day, so he doesn't give a shit, you know. But
that and finding 8mm Mauser is pretty hard these days. I mean, yeah, you can get it from PPU, but it's a little expensive. You know, so it's better to do the MG3 conversion and just use MG3 because you can even find the box magazines for the MG3 that just clip on, and because you've got the top cover tray, it'll clip on just fine. You can actually fill it with like 200 rounds. So
cool. Yeah, I live in the banned state, so I have to somehow prove that it was pre-ban or cut the belts down. The belts don't use links, right? No, they're actual belts.
No, I think they are they actual belts? I thought they were links.
I don't know. I mean, I've only dealt with links, so
for what the MG42?
Yeah,
I believe it's a belt.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a belt, but I've only dealt with links, and I was always joking about that. Like, I'm just gonna make sure if I ever did get like the saw, I'm gonna have to make sure I only put 10 links together, boys.
Nope. See, I'm talking about doing an MG3 build technically, and that doesn't look like a belt to me. Those are links. Weird links, but still links.
Yeah, I mean, the only. Hey, wait, doesn't he use them? Maybe it is. I don't even know. So I don't know. But did you see my message about servers I put in the chat, Night Strike?
Yeah, I've been looking at getting. I know bad Night Strike, but I was looking at getting some used servers, not getting a new server because of the cost.
Yeah, well, these are used, but they might be too far out of date.
Yeah, mine is 11 years old. My server.
We bought these in 2013, and I didn't even really. I just fooled around. I changed the slots that the memory was in, and all of a sudden, one of the servers booted right up fine. It booted right into it, and everything seemed all right. But they each only have 5 2-terabyte ones, and I was going to try to sell them to like a security company because they're security camera servers. We still have all the connections. It's made. You can have.
Yeah, that won't work in a data center.
Yeah, you can have 15 IP cameras apiece, but it's still a server. It's not like. It has the PCI card slots. You have to. I mean, yeah. So I figured that.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna have to get a 2U rack mount server, and I'll show you what I mean by that.
Yeah, I got these right here. I mean, they are rack mounts. They're heavy as shit too.
Damn it!
You're just sitting in the fucking living room there.
Can I ask a random question?
If you must.
It's my cave. I'll do whatever I want. But I have no idea what you guys were talking about. I actually just put my headset back on. But something in the chat says something about let me tell you about the birds and the bees or whatever. And okay, here's my question. What the hell is the birds and the bee conversation? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be like about sex or whatever. I understand how all that stuff works. I'm good with that. But I cannot picture a conversation that starts with like, well, there are some birds and some bees, and how that turns into like teaching your kid about sex. I don't get it. Does anyone know how that relates, like, at all?
I can't tell you. I'm probably the second youngest in here, and I don't even know, man.
No, you're probably the youngest in here.
I feel like we need someone who's the oldest, because that's like an old like that's how they used to explain it to kids. It was like, oh, just tell them about the birds and the bees.
Wait. Rupan, how old are you?
29.
Don't be ageist.
Okay, he's 29. I know Phoenix isn't even 18 yet.
And how old are you, Night Strike?
I think I am the oldest person in the room. I don't want to have to explain it.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're 53.
Fuck you, Smeggy.
Wikipedia.
You're only 1 year younger than me, so shut up.
Okay, fine.
Wikipedia says.
How old is he?
I ain't saying nothing about nothing. We don't need to be ageist here. But anyways,
The
I was
Birds
just
and the Bees is a metaphorical story.
we can go back to
Sometimes
talking
told to
about
children.
guns or whatever. That's cool. I'm actually going to be
Nice
stepping
try.
away
Check
for
out
a
the link
while.
in the side.
So
The
I'll
bees carry and deposit pollen on the flowers, which
Nice
is
try.
a
Yeah, I saw
visible and
that.
easy to explain
Okay.
parallel to male fertilization.
I get it.
Where's the bird coming though? Oh, looks like the noise followed me.
That's for a small home office. I'll show you what I'm looking at.
Okay. Because my
See.
brain started working when Jerry was talking about security service, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. My brain just all started going, man.
Where was it going?
It's going.
Yep. But hey, I'm the second one. I'm the second youngest in here, so.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. Some of them can hold more hard drives than what's here, but essentially, I was thinking about getting 8 10 terabyte hard drives and rating them together. You can also fit one more hard drive in the back in one of these machines, and I would probably get an SSD to do that to run the operating system, and then mount the RAID array as a single hard drive on that SSD so that everything is fast.
How much does that cost?
These are $1,500. But this server, I don't know if this one comes with a processor and RAM, but I was looking at getting not this one, but probably a used one. It still costs the same amount of money, but getting a used one and having the RAM come with it and the processor, so all I'd have to have is hard drives.
Okay.
So something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question. If you bought like 2 or 3 of those things you just showed, could you link them together?
What, you mean the actual servers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That big box.
Yeah, I can link them together. It's just I'd have to have hard drives on those other servers too. See, basically how YouTube does this and how Google does this, they have millions of servers, well, not millions, but they've probably got hundreds of thousands of servers just like that. And they basically jury rig them together in order to have this capacity that they need. Or what they do is they have YouTube set up to do, like, if one server is full, it moves on to the next and moves on to the next and moves on to the next until, it finds a server that has open space available to download the videos to.
So is that probably why they're trying to delete people's channels who aren't big or whatever?
Probably. They're probably getting rid of people to try and get rid of space that's being used that they could use for something else, like the YouTube TV or YouTube Red content instead, where they get money off of that. That's one theory. So.
Okay.
always love the fact that I remember when I first made an account on YouTube, I was so blown away you didn't have to pay to host your own thing. I remember having pay accounts for like hosting images so I could argue with people on forums.
Yeah, Pant says they're 6U rack mounts. I'll tell you right now, I do not want to. I don't need a 6U rack mount. Anyways. So
you guys like guns, eh?
I hear you like guns. What's going on about guns?
I don't know. I just like them.
What kind?
CZs. CZs are the best. They're the best guns.
I'm gonna say something sacrilegious, but it might. Bob.
If you call it a 1911, I'm kicking you out of this hangout. Not a joke.
No. Bob might appear if I say it.
Oh yeah, let's not risk that.
But what about
you got your point across without actually saying the word, so I think we're still safe.
How's she going, eh?
That was a pretty good impression.
Wow, is he having a heart attack?
He's melting.
I thought that was a pretty good impression of him. Because he laughs from like the back of his throat. It's like back there in the phlegmy part.
And Vanessa Kitty is out there. Hello, Vanessa.
Yeah, I think Tardot's wrapping up, so people are starting to file back over.
What's the problem with 1911s, Smiggy?
Oh, no problem with 1911s. There's just a running, I don't even want to say joke. It's more of just a pet peeve of mine and a trolling where whenever I say something about my CZ, people call it a 1911. And their CZs and 1911s barely have anything in common.
No, but I'm going to say it now. CZs and high powers have many things in common.
Yeah, no, those ones are similar, sure.
They're very similar. I'm not saying they're the same because they're from different people who had the same idea. But
I mean, they may have even borrowed the idea. You know, I mean, that's one of them came a lot after the other one. So,
well, hang on a second. So, what you're saying is your pet peeve is people compare the CZ to the 1911 just like Glock is compared to every other polymer gun that's striker fired.
No, it's more people say that a CZ is a 1911. Not even that they're similar. And like I said, they're trolling me because they know it pisses me off. So that's what I thought Night Strike was going to do as a joke, and I was just letting them know that I didn't even want to hear that joke.
No, I was gonna bring up.
That's more of a Clay Flippy kind of thing.
I can't say that gun again because if I say it 3 times.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, you definitely can't say anything that's highly powered.
No, we can't because Bob will appear if we say it 3 times.
So he's like Beetlejuice?
That's a good point, Pants. What are you going to do with all that shock cord? For those of you that are Patreon members of gun websites, at the perk where you get stuff from gun stores, we got a whole bunch of like colored cord that we can braid into stuff or do something with it.
Make a sling. For your rifles and stuff, make a sling.
Apparently, Pants said he can make an assault slingshot with a pistol grip and a bayonet look.
I'd
like to see that.
I like G-Web's thing. It put it on bags through the molly to hold windbreakers.
What is it with G-Webs and windbreakers?
Not sure.
Hey, well, hang on a second. Windbreakers, there's some out there that are like waterproof and like really protect you, and you can roll them up into like a little tiny pack, almost like a pack of smokes, and just stick it in your pocket.
That's not a windbreaker. That's a
That's an emergency rain.
Yeah, that's
jacket.
oh my god, why can't I think of what it's called?
Oh, I've seen them before. Actually,
it's called a poncho.
Yeah, it can like just tuck itself inside of its pocket and stuff.
A poncho is not a windbreaker.
Yeah. I didn't say it was. I'm saying they have windbreakers that you can just stuff into its own pocket, and it's about the size of a poncho.
The cat says I can make a tiny trampoline and throw the cat on it. Well,
they're actually pretty good. I need to pick one up to stick in my school bag, or my backpack for school.
I think I'm gonna tie it around the lanyard on my CZ75 SP01 Tactical, and then tie the other end like through my holster. So then if I ever like pull the gun out and drop it, it will just like bounce and then fall back into the holster. That's like that's it. Like, pull it out, draw, like use it, and then I can just let go, and it will bungee cord itself back into the holster.
Were you about to say Serper?
No, I was reading Server Monkey at the same time I was trying to say holster.
Oh.
I don't have a Serpa holster. I have a Blade Tech. It's pretty neat. Inside the waistband.
I have an inside the waistband for my Glock. Yeah. So I can still carry right now. They're $20. They're cheap. Not the best, but you know, it is what it is.
Oh, I think my Blade Tech was more expensive than $20.
Was it like a level 2 or something?
No, there's no retention. I mean, it just has built-in retention. It's just inside the waistband.
I paid, was it 20? Let me think, hang on. It may have been like 25, maybe 27 and some change.
That's a pretty good price for a Kydex holster.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Well, of course, you picked a common one. Maybe mine was more because it's for a CZ, and they're like, we don't make that many of these.
Okay, well, yeah. Like, we'll put it like this. I was looking for a holster because, like I said, I got a Glock, and I'm not impressed with it. And I wanted to carry my M&P, and I wanted to get a holster identical because I like how the holster is that they made for the Glock, right? They only make that specific holster for Glocks and 1911s. So if I wanted a Blade Tech holster for my M&P, I'd have to pay like $50-$60.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like about what mine is. Okay, so the one you got must have been like a whatever. They probably just make a bunch of them in that style.
It's called the Phantom, the Blade Tech Phantom.
Yeah, I don't remember which one mine was.
There's the Phantom, there's the Phantom 2, and then there's like something else. You can buy them on Amazon. I mean, they're not really expensive, but it's just a lot of, holster options. Like you're at the $50 mark. And I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's I'm saying that's about where the market levels out for Kydex holsters. I mean, sometimes, especially if you got someone who's doing like a startup or whatever, like a local guy or something, then you might be able to get some cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. When I get my school money, I'm gonna end up getting. That's one of the things I am gonna get is get a holster for my M&P because I'd rather carry that. Because at least when I point it at the target on paper, it puts the bullet where I point it, not halfway around to China or some shit. You know what I mean?
Does yours have like a clip?
No, it has two of the what are they called?
Two loops.
Yeah, Well, the one loop, matter of fact, because like I was somebody who just undid the snaps and would just like pull it up out and stuff. The one loop is actually cracking and shit. So I just leave it snap now and just undo my belt and just pull my belt through it and then rerun it when I want to put it back on. You know, and I need to get a new belt too. Unfortunately.
I can't find the one that I got, but oh well, whatever.
They keep making these new ones, and like some of the older ones, they just discontinue them, and it's like, well I liked it. Why can't I get a new one? And then you have to go find something else.
Well, that's why I was looking at on their thing, and maybe I don't know, it was just their website was taking a while to load and all that stuff, but I gave up. But anyways, when I went to Inside the Waistband, they called it like the clip, but it was like KLIPT or something. Like, okay, why can't you just say like regular spelling of clip? So that's why I asked, because that one, the clipped was like $29, like from Blade Tech. So I could totally see you getting that for $20 somewhere. And then they had the clipped 2, which apparently is the improved one. And then they had the Nano, which was like $80, and that had the loops. And then they had the something or other for like, you know, like having a duty light. And that was it. Those were your 4 options for Inside the Waistband. So either you get the one with the clip, or the new version of the clip, the loops, or you get the one that has is made for when you have a flashlight.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember them having, like, I remember the Phantom. I remember that name, and there was like 5 or 6 different types of holsters when I was looking for mine. So they must have just stopped making those ones and like simplify it or something.
So they must have done
it could
something.
be. I mean, I bet you it's easier if like you're like, okay, you want the loops of the clip, like that's the only type we make. You know, like one of them's a little bit smaller than the other one. Like, there you go. That's it.
I just trust the loops more, to be honest with you. I really do.
I don't like clips at all. I do not. I don't trust clips in the slightest.
Well, this is the closest. I'll screen share real quick. This is the closest to what mine actually looks like. Is right here. Give me 1 second. This is the closest. That's the closest to what it actually looks like. But
right.
mine was different. It had a sweat guard that I had to cut down because it was coming up past the back of the slide and stuff. I was digging in. I had to cut it down with my Leatherman, and then I had to what do you call it? Shade the straps down because like it was adjustable. You could adjust it for different belts and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, so that one's the Nano. That's like I said. That's basically the only one that has the snaps on it is the Nano, and your only other option has clips on it. It's like, since when did that happen? At least from what I was able to load on the Blade Tech website.
Like I think the one I have now is discontinued, but like I picked it up last year during the summertime because that's when I got my permit and whatnot. So, but I've been trying to find, like I said, something for my M&P because I have an old Smith, one of the silver ones from the 90s. And I got a holster for it, but everyone's making the holsters for the rounded trigger guard on them, not the square trigger guard. So the holster I bought didn't even fit the damn gun. I'm like, oh, come on. So.
Yeah, that really that disappointed me there a little bit. I was not impressed with the selection of Blade Techs. Because mine's like yours, and I don't know, maybe mine's the same as yours. Like I said, I don't remember what mine was called, but I know it has the sweat guard. It's got the loops like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the retention screw with the little like rubber buffer thingy on there, so you can just tighten the screw down if you want.
Well, mine has 2 retention screws. which the one doesn't even work. I had to take the little rubber thing out to give it more retention because it was like you could slip it in, and if you tried to run, your gun was like hopping up and down inside of it. I'm like, whoa, can't have that.
Oh yeah, you got to crank that down some. Show.
Yeah.
Trying to think, does mine have two? I thought mine just had one off to the side. I guess I can go look at it real quick. Let's see. No, it just has the one retention screw.
I think mine's older because like I bought it and like they were going out of stock or something. They only had like one left and whatnot.
Oh, I wonder if it says that.
You know what? Hang on a second. Let me check something.
Well, I mean, you say yours were going out of stock, and you think it might be older, but
here, I found it.
I've had mine for quite some time, so yeah, maybe you got it when they were discontinuing it, and we do have the same type.
This is exactly what it is. I'll show you right now. This is what it is. It has the two screws and then the little straps right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is what it is.
My elbow hurts so much.
Except mine's for a Glock 17 and whatnot, but you know, because the reason I looked this up was I watched a video with on YouTube with I can't remember his name. The dude. Damn. I know his name. I can't think of his name.
You ever like clean out the inside of your holster? I just realized mine's like super.
Yeah, you got to clean the inside of the. Well, for me, I got to clean the inside of the holster. I got to clean the gun. I got to clean the barrel, and I got to take it apart and clean inside where the dust cover is, because it just gets packed with lint.
Well, yeah, I mean, I clean the gun periodically, but I just was noticing. I guess I haven't really cleaned the inside of the holster in a while.
Yeah, you got to clean that out and stuff, and it's like it just builds up so fast. Like I have to clean mine like every 3 to 4 days now. You know.
Let's not go crazy here.
Well, no, I'm saying the holster, man. I'm not saying that. You know, come on. But it's just how it is. So.
Yeah, seriously, there's like something wrong with my freaking elbow, man. I like picked my gun up and like I got a tinge in my elbow, like my gun was too heavy or something. Like I got freaking like tennis elbow or something.
That could be.
I think I twisted it weird because it's like almost like a funny bone kind of feeling, but like hurt, not tingly.
It's like stiff.
Not even stiff. It's just like a little like shot of pain when I like bent it with weight on it. It was weird.
Yeah.
I have kind of been laying on it on the couch, so maybe I just like it's going weird. Or I'm dying. One of the two. Guess we'll find out.
Well, you getting arthritis, man. I'll tell you right now, it hurts.
I don't know, maybe. Oof. Yeah, that's weird. It's.
Do you have any crackly joints or anything you can do, like on command or anything?
Not really, other than my toes crack, but I've never really cracked my knuckles and stuff.
Like you just like make a fist and it cracks?
No.
Oh, okay, you're good.
Okay, but it doesn't fix my elbow. It still hurt. It was just for a second, you know, just like I said, it's almost like a funny bone kind of thing, but it more pain than numbness.
Probably the blood probably went out of your elbow from like laying on it, and like it just rushed back in. It's like alive, I'm alive.
Like I said, or I'm dying of that elbow tingling disease.
Yeah,
I've heard it's claimed a lot of victims.
Is it right arm or left arm?
Right arm.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Hey,
Like I
if
said,
it's the left
I've been
arm,
laying on it for a while. I think that's more it, but you know.
well, I'm just saying, if it's the left arm, I believe that's a heart attack. If it's the right arm, it's a stroke,
Yeah, but
and you would
that's
know.
well with the stroke, it's going numb. It's not a
Yeah,
pain in my
that's
elbow when
yeah,
I lift something up.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But whatever. We don't need to play WebMD because I'm the type of I'm a hypochondriac, although I don't go to doctors, but I can convince myself I have stuff. Like if people talk about how much their knee hurts for a while, like my knee will start hurting. Absolutely out of nowhere. My brain is amazing at giving myself injuries that I don't really have.
Okay.
So,
What are you, George
what's funny is I
Costanza?
guess like my sister's very similar to that, and she's in the medical field. So when she was like at school, you know, they had to take a class on like diseases and all this stuff. And apparently, like she would come home from class, like whatever thing they were learning about that day, like she thought she had it. You know, like at one point for maybe like 20 minutes in an afternoon, she was convinced she had scurvy, and then realized that that's dumb because she eats normal and she doesn't have scurvy.
Did you ever see that episode of Seinfeld where George watches like the hour-long special about having heart attacks, and then he thinks he's having a heart attack?
No, I
Tightness
haven't
in the
seen
chest, shortness of breath. Oh my God.
that. No. Well, seriously, dude, ever go on like WebMD and be like stuffed up nose and watery eyes, and it's like, well, that's every disease in the world. Like, oh crap. Like you can talk yourself into some crazy ones. And it's like, oh wait, maybe I just have allergies like I've had for my entire life. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
That seems to make more sense than some rare, like, Ethiopian disease that only two people in the history of the world have ever gotten. Like, I probably don't have that one.
Probably not, dude. Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reasonable enough not to like rush to the hospital every other day, but not so much that my mind can't trick myself into thinking that like I have pain when I don't really. Like I said, the worst one is when people are talking about like an injury. I can like feel it. Like I got like when Pants was talking about his fingers earlier, or not Pants. I'm sorry. I do that a lot. You guys both have the same name, starts with P. Potatoes and lead was talking about his fingers being messed up, and like my hand started hurting, like my fingers started hurting.
Oh
And
God.
it's like I didn't freaking slam them in a thing. Why do my fingers hurt?
Hey, you know what's wrong with his fingers? What he was describing, he slammed his shit, and instead of being smart and taking care of himself, now he's probably messed up his fingernails, and now they're getting infected. That's probably what it is.
I thought he broke his finger, but whatever. Maybe I misread
Did he
that.
break his finger?
I thought that's what he said. But then I was
Oh.
linked to an Instagram picture where a finger was like had a little face drawn on it and it held a gun up to its own head. So maybe that's what happened.
Well,
Anyways, I won't talk about him if he can't defend himself 'cause he's not here, but
I hope he's okay. Let's put it like that. I hope he's okay.
yeah. Yeah. Vanessa got a nice comment. I see enough doctors. I don't need to imagine more visits. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I don't see doctors. Like I think I went to the doctor freaking oh god, how long? That was like 5 years ago or something because I developed a nut allergy. So I wanted to get like my blood tested so they could tell me like how bad it was. Like, am I the type that like will die if someone eats peanuts in the same airplane as me, or am I the type that like as long as I just don't eat a whole bunch of it, I'll be fine or whatever, that type of thing. And
Someone
that
else
was
is. Go ahead.
that was like the first time I've been to a doctor since I went to my pediatrician. Like someone was like, "Well, just go to your doctor." I'm like, I don't have one. Like I don't know where to go. Like where do you get doctors from? Like just go to your family one. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a family doctor. I don't know.
Yeah, someone like people were talking. They've been talking about this damn nut allergy crap, and I'm like, what the hell was going on? You know what I mean? Because like when I was growing up, I didn't know anybody who had a nut allergy. Now it's like what, every 8 people out of 10 have a nut allergy now for some reason.
I don't think it's that much. Because I mean, that's it. At least, like I know, like in schools and stuff, you can't bring them in at snacks anymore because mostly they have like at least one kid in the classroom, but that's like 1 out of 30 or whatever. So I don't believe 8 out of 10 at all.
Well, I'm talking. I'm not talking kids. I'm talking adults. Like I think it's 8 out of 10 or something. Like are finding out they have nut allergies when they never had them before.
Well, I definitely never had them before. It definitely it developed.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
That
it's
was
weird.
real annoying.
Yeah, I just don't get it because like I'm like I hope I never have a nut allergy because I love peanut butter. you
Yeah, dude,
know,
I was actually talking about it the other day. Um, my parents had some cashews, and I'm like, oh my God, what I wouldn't give for just a handful of cashews right now. Like, oh, it tastes so good. My mom started yelling at me. She's like, no, you'll die. I'm like, but they taste so good.
it's worth it.
Wait, you can't eat cashews?
No, I can't eat any of the tree nuts.
How have you survived?
I, I don't know, dude. I used to eat them all the time, so I was fine back then.
That's what we were talking about. Nice,
I
like a
mean,
whole bunch of people have started.
well, you see, the thing is, allergies are a funny thing. Okay,
They come and go.
No, they don't. It's like I don't have any food allergies, but the only thing I can't have is it sucks because I'm allergic to penicillin.
Oh, that won't be a problem for you.
Well, there are other alternatives to penicillin now, but if this was like 50 years ago, yeah, it would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not, especially since you know about like the bad one is when you're allergic and you don't know about it. So you go in for whatever sinus infection or something, they just give you some stuff and then you start taking it. And here's the thing, like
you get worse.
You start being allergic to it, but you can't tell because like you're already all sick, so you don't know, is it like, are you just because you're sick? Unless it gets real bad and like your throat closes up and stuff. But
that's when you have to call Dr. House. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I had trouble watching House, man. I gave myself all of those things just by watching it. All of these rare whatever kidneys exploding and shit.
You know that's based off a real doctor, right?
Okay.
Sure, let's go with that.
I did not know that, but that's
not. It wasn't his name, but there was a doctor who like literally. I don't remember. It's not recent. It was like a long time ago. Actually, act type of shit. Not identical, but close enough.
right. Was like the best, like diagnosing weird stuff or whatever.
Like at the last minute, it's like, oh yeah, it was this. I'm like, wow. Just like what do you call it? The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford.
I
That's based
didn't
off of.
kill my wife. I don't give
That's
a
actually
shit.
based off of real shit too. You know that?
He was wrongfully accused.
Mm-hmm.
Shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
GunTube.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I saw an Instagram post.
Yeah, I made one.
They're still going off on the news about that sessions and shit.
Okay.
What did he do?
Oh, the Republicans want him to appoint a second special prosecutor within the next 13 hours, or else.
Good.
Oh man, guns are fun. I like guns.
They go bang.
Mm-hmm. I'm just happy to have my guns
sticks.
back. I got them out of that abusive household.
Abusive household? What?
Yeah, my guns were having a vacation over at my parents' house, and I found out the other day that my mom's kind of like, well, why not just ban all semi-autos? And I'm like, what? I thought I was making so much progress with her too. Like she was coming around, but it'll wear off. But anyways, it just so happened that it's like, I was there, so I'm like, now's a good enough time as any to take my guns back. And then she's like, well, why? And I was like, well, because I don't want them to be in this like abusive environment where no one loves them. I'm like, I bet you don't even talk to them and oil them every day. And she's like, I haven't even touched them. And I was like, see, that's the problem. They're lonely.
And you want to ban them. They don't deserve that. They've done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
It's discrimination.
It is discrimination.
Yep.
So it was pretty funny. They're back and safe at home. And I did give them a once over. I oiled them up a little bit, just because they were sitting in in their cases, which isn't great for long-term storage. It was just the easiest to take them over there, and I just left them in the case.
Is that why your elbow's hurting?
I don't know. I mean, that was the other day. I don't know why it would hurt today. Like I said, it's probably nothing.
I hope not, man.
Vanessa's saying, show her how to field strip and clean them.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with getting her to, shoot more than 2 rounds at a time.
She wouldn't pay attention.
No, she would if she actually wanted to learn, but we're gonna go ahead and start with just getting her to be comfortable enough to shoot it like a couple magazines worth even.
I know what you can do. Give her one on the range and have it not be loaded. Just have like the mag in there empty, and let her just sit there and just click.
Well, I'm out. You guys take it easy.
All right, see you, man.
Good night, night.
Bye.
Nighty night night. That's funny.
Mm.
I'm not sure if there's any other Saturday night shows. I know Tardot just did one between like 8 and 9.
Is it Gunpowder Beauty supposed to do one tonight, or is it tomorrow?
I thought they did one tomorrow. The girls chat or whatever. I think that's on Sundays.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think everyone is still in what's his name's chat. You know what I mean? With what's his name? Brandon and them.
Oh, in Potatoes chat from earlier?
Yeah.
That's possible, but I mean that's still just a lobby. Also, that's not like a
Yeah,
scheduled show, which is I'm sure is what Clay was
yeah,
talking about.
that's true.
And I thought I saw something that Pink put up a lobby too, so there might be some people over there. And go bug them.
Are you gonna go over there?
No, I'll stay in the cave. I
Yeah, I
like my
listened to
cave. It's
the
comfy.
yeah, I listened to the video last night on knives stuff with was it Too Hottie and stuff.
Oh, I don't even bring that crap up. I'm not into drama.
I'm not trying to bring drama up. I'm just saying I listened.
I saw some of that, and then I was like, hey, I have an idea. I'm gonna go make a Smeggy Cave and go hang out. And we were up till like 6 in the morning talking good stuff.
That's what a lot of people were saying too. I was like, because I haven't been on in almost a week and a half maybe. I've been dealing with some stuff I did. I ain't had the time. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean people come and go. That's what
Yeah.
It's funny. You will kind of see like people coming in waves. Like obviously you'll see the same people over and over again, and then it's like, hey, I haven't seen that person in a while, and then like new people show up, and then like you see the other people come back again. Like it's just you know you have
Yeah, the
lives, you
usual
got stuff to
suspects.
do. This week unloaded at 10 question mark. Okay, I don't think I've ever watched This Week Unloaded. I didn't know that was a thing.
Hmm.
Of course, I'm not normally home on Sunday nights or Saturday nights either, so
Oh,
that could be why I don't know of it.
you
In
could
fact, I
make a
was
regular thing, couldn't you?
what?
You could make a regular thing, right?
I don't know what that means.
Regular day, time.
Oh, yeah. I mean it's what I do with Night Strike every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, hit or miss,
Okay.
and then Daily Gun Show every night at midnight. Well, every weeknight at midnight.
Okay.
So, and those ones are more, we have topics and stuff to talk about. This one's more just, felt like hanging out.
So you gonna keep this one open for a while?
I I might. I was just starting to consider I might go out tonight, but it's open for now. So I changed my mind.
Yeah, well, it's going on 9:30 where I am. I gotta get some stuff done, so I'm gonna end up bouncing.
All right. Well, take it easy.
Oh, if you're still open in a little bit, I'll be back in. It's not permanent. I just gotta take care of some stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'll see you.
All
See
right.
ya.
Take it easy, man.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I'm still here, but I'll probably be jumping out soon to read bedtime stories.
What you gonna read me?
Well, to accommodate for the hangout, I could read The Book with No Pictures by B.J. Novak.
No pictures. That doesn't sound like fun.
The kids absolutely love the book.
I always used to love like books about dinosaurs, but not like kids' books about dinosaurs, like science journals about dinosaurs.
That's pretty cool. So this book is kind of genius. It just makes you say a bunch of silly stuff, and it makes the kids laugh quite a bit. Here we go. Hold on. Let me find a silly page for you here. And it makes you say all sorts of silly stuff. You know, and like you're as the person reading, you're kind of like fighting back in the way the book's written. Like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, I did mean to say that. Like I'm a monkey robot or something. You know, hey, I'm not a monkey robot. I don't know, it's silly.
I say Baduni.
Yeah. See how much he likes the book? It's got no pictures in it at all.
But that's still fun.
Yep.
Iba do me Faye. That's funny.
Yeah, one of the points he has me reread the page a bunch of times because you say that your only friend in the whole wide world is what is it? It's a something named Boo Boo Butt.
It's Boo Boo Butt.
Yeah, I think it was.
Your friend named Boo Boo Butt.
Yeah, what is it? What's the animal? Oh,
man. You're a boo boo butt.
Yeah. By the end of the book, you're pleading not to read the book again. It's pretty good. Hey, bud, that's not a place to sit.
I can sit here.
Don't sit there.
I can only sit there for one that's playing ball.
Hey man, shall not be infringed.
Hell yeah.
Sit wherever he wants.
Oh, him? Oh yeah, screw him. No, he's got. I don't want him sitting there because he's gonna probably fall.
No, I won't. I'm the boss of this thing.
Alright, so that plastic hard hat is somehow a magic helmet. Oh shoot, Tardot sent me a link. I didn't even realize that. Ah, damn.
Oh. You skipped his chat. You didn't even know it.
I know I was fooling around here. Bob, this is a cool chat, though. Oh, did you see that video I posted? I don't know if you did. I posted an Every Second Matters video. And it's kind of like, it's a very simple video, and I obviously didn't cover everything, but it's just about assault weapons and how it's a ruse to ban semi-automatic weapons. And I made it, it's like 4 minutes and, I don't know, something seconds. It's under 5 minutes. And I tried to write a pretty good hook at the beginning. And I want to just, get it out there to people so people can, you can share it with people who are like, oh, the news, you got to ban these assault weapons, I got cousins and stuff and all sorts of family members that are like, when are they going to do something about this? Like we need to ban assault weapons. So I kind of made a video directed towards them.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's got a lot of people, regulars on the YouTubes and the gun channels have been writing me good comments about it, which is great. But obviously, I haven't. The thing I want to know the most is how many people have seen this that are against our opinions, But obviously, I don't have any data for that.
Yeah, other than just like comments that are like, I used to not agree with you, but that makes sense. That'd always be a good comment to see.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that. Which no, I'm not like bitching about the good comments. That's awesome. I really appreciate every person that wrote a comment. But it's just kind of it's like I haven't heard from any anti-family members since sharing it, or any people who are maybe on the border. I did hear from my mom though, which was pretty cool. So that made me feel good because she's always been like a my whole life she's always told me the Democrats are for the people. Really? Is your father looking for it?
Ay, ay, ay.
I tried to send it to my buddy. I got a buddy who just became a new gun owner, and well, he's not a gun owner yet, but he went through all the licensing courses and stuff. And his wife won't let him buy a gun yet. So he's been posting hardcore pro gun memes, and I don't know. I was like kind of there once too, so I'm not mad at it, but like I don't know. He's like fighting a one-man war with people who aren't going to respond to most of the memes. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of stuff you learn over time. And
Yeah,
and some people are good, like have good tactics of, arguing or disagreeing with people, and other people don't.
yeah. Like I'm not very good at it, but we're kind of done with. I love inflammatory memes. That's like one of my favorite things. I love to make them too, but on the same end, like I'm not posting them to try to argue with friends and family on my friends list.
Right.
You know?
No, that's the type of stuff that like the people in the know kind of chuckle at. Like that's what when I see those memes, I'm just like, huh, yeah, CNN is stupid. Like I don't think
Yeah,
there's ever going to be someone's like, "Oh, that's a very valid point. Thank you for calling me a libtard. I agree with you now." Like it doesn't work that
yeah.
way.
I guess that's like, I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm not scoffing at his memes or anything. I was there too for brief period myself, but now I double check my memes and stuff. I check comments. I'll correct people with different, no matter what side they're on. I'll look up the memes if they're like, being serious, posting it to be serious. And
One of the things I correct pro gun people all the time is when talking about like cities that are anti-gun and how they have a bunch of crime or whatever. People love to put Detroit on that list. And it's like Detroit's not even in the same league as Chicago, New York, and LA and all. Like Michigan's not like the best in the world. I think we talked about that earlier tonight. It's like in the middle of like gun rights for all the states.
yeah,
But,
you guys have corned beef egg rolls too, don't you?
what?
Isn't there some place in Detroit that sells corned beef egg rolls?
Probably, but I don't know of it.
I saw a news story, or heard a news story where they said there's a huge fight at a very popular corned beef egg roll place. I was like, never even heard of that shit in my life before.
I don't think I've heard of that either.
Apparently, they claimed they were shorted a couple egg rolls, and they flipped their shit and got in a fist fight with like the staff.
Daddy, should I get a hoop for this basketball? Like right
I don't think we have a hoop, bud.
Next to my bed, so I can throw it up for this basketball.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
It can
smash everything in here.
No, I won't. I'll go on a bed like this.
Yeah.
Boom.
I was. I'll tell you, I'm not as strong as I used to be because I fired my 30-06 in the video. I'm just like, I showcase what semi-automatic is in the video, and I fired 12 rounds, and I felt like a little girl later. I was joking around with one of my buddies, saying, "My shoulder hurts." Yeah, I only fired. It was only 175 grain stuff too, because I'm cheap. I've never even seen. My dad was telling me he used to only get 220 grains. I've never even seen 220 grains at like local stores.
See that?
Hmm.
But,
I don't remember what mine is. I feel like mine's 185 is what I use for hunting.
Yeah.
Daddy, look at
I
I
think
just
that
bought
sounds
whatever they
familiar.
had. I bought whatever they had at Dick's or at Walmart. I
Oh,
shop
don't be
at
buying
Dick's
nothing
anymore.
at Dick's.
No, I don't. I'm not. I haven't gone in there. Go ahead, bud. I haven't gone in there since I tried to get a 273 or 243. Tried to pick up a 243, and in Mass we got a license to carry, which is our like catch-all gun license or whatever. So, and they don't give you a new one when you move. Like just like your other license, you just write the new address on the back. They don't give you a new one. So I go in there and I had both of them were my other address. And they were like, "Oh, you need to come back with a letter saying with a bill saying that you live at a new place or whatever." So all right, here we go. I go back there and they go, "We're not comfortable with selling this to you." I was like, I fucking came back here. Like I made time and came back here, and you're telling me you lied to me? I ain't coming here again.
No. Well, something to remember too, because I mean, I've been hearing everyone's, ragging on dicks because of their whole thing, and yeah, that rightfully so. But if I remember correctly, the initial report was they're not going to sell them at Dick's or Field and Stream. I
Correct.
did not know Field and Stream was like the same company. But to be honest, I don't think Dick's is going to be hurting that much if gun people stop shopping there. Because I mean, at least the one near me, the gun counterpart, like the hunting and fishing part, is I don't know, maybe an eighth of the whole store. Like most of the store is all like athletic things and the golf clubs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think they made a lot of money off of guns anyways.
Yeah, I mean, think
But
about my state.
if like hunters and outdoorsmen stop shopping at Field and Stream, that's going to hurt their business quite a bit.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, to think about it in my state, like, I mean, how many people even shop for guns at Dick's? I mean, I live in the blue part of a blue state. You know, I live in a suburb of Boston.
Right. And that's one of those things. I mean, listen, I'll boycott as far as just to like, I don't know, whatever, make myself feel better. But I don't have illusions that like it's necessarily going to work all that much. I mean, it
Yeah,
might. It'd be cool if it
they're not gonna
does,
care.
but
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just like the youth, like by me never going back there because I was pissed off. Like that might have been the manager's. If the manager can deny at any point, she might want to do it because she might be, vehemently against guns. So
Oh.
like that was my thing about it. Like later I thought about it. Like wow, this I am where I'm at. People like a manager of that store probably is happy that another gun wasn't sold.
I'm playing this game, Daddy. And
so I'm not gonna let it ruin. I'm not gonna let it ruin my day.
mhm.
There's only like 2 Walmarts around me that sell ammo, and they make you wait if you go there. You gotta wait a while to be helped. It sucks. There was a couple of gun shops that were still selling, a couple of online gun ammo dealers that were still selling the mass, and the only one I knew of stopped selling because once the attorney general finds out, this is how it supposedly goes. The attorney general will find out through the grapevine, someone will give him up, and the name will get around enough that someone will give it up who's a FUD. So, and then I guess maybe she sends him a threatening letter. Like, if you keep selling ammo to our state, we're going to sue the shit out of you or something, or pull a lawsuit against you, because it's not illegal to sell ammo to mass. But, it's like, seems like whenever they find out.
Sleeping on the top bed.
So, there's like one or two others are out there, but no one will tell me. None of the other mass gun owners will tell me because they don't want the name getting out there.
Well, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Just feel like I promised not to tattle. Come on, what the heck?
I know, it's like, dude, I don't want to pay lots of money for ammo here.
Daddy have little windows.
Yeah.
Now you can see through, Daddy. I have little windows. Right there.
Little windows. You gotta get big windows.
One by brown block.
Yeah, he's playing Minecraft right now on an old cell phone of mine. So he gets pretty creative sometimes with like his traps and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like you know what Minecraft is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say this. I mean,
and do you know my trap?
I don't really, I don't play it or nothing, but I know kind of about it.
This is
Um,
my trap.
Yeah.
but as much as people like rag
Daddy,
on like
this is my
kids
trap.
nowadays for not
My
like
prison
playing with
box.
Legos and stuff, like
Yeah.
Minecraft at least is
Slice
still
here
like
and the water
it's encouraging you to use your
inside.
imagination. You can just like build whatever you want with it, which is the part
Yeah.
of Legos that was good. Like that's the part that got kids to like think outside the box and you know
Well, he
do
has a
some
crap
stuff.
ton of Minecraft Legos, but he'd rather play Minecraft. But yeah, it teaches them about architecture and building and stuff. And what's cool about Minecraft is it's unlimited. I've never liked Minecraft. I've always been a first person shooter player ever since I played Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh my
You know,
God, yes.
before that I was playing like Duke Nukem, the side scrollers, and I was playing like Earthworm Jim, Lemmings. I remember Lemmings for some reason.
Oh, you stupid lemmings, quit falling off the side.
Yeah, little bastards. I remember Sam and Max. I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember playing that game. It was the bunny that like carved people up, and the dog that was like a detective.
I I don't know about that.
Yeah. King's Quest. You play any of the King's Quest games?
No, but like I know of it.
Yeah.
I didn't really play it.
Yeah. The only time I ever seen Minecraft was I was in the army and I was hanging out at the barracks and some dude like came over to my room who I'd never seen before, but he was either in my unit or he was in like the other combat engineer unit. And he was like, dude, you gotta come to my barracks room, dude. I was like, all right, man. Yeah, let's go. Cool. Yeah. So we go over to his room and he's like, dude, Minecraft. I was like, all right, man, what do you got? He's like, I've been working at this for like 3 months. He showed me like, here's where I catch the zombies here. Here's where I do this. Yeah, man. This is mastermind level, isn't it? Oh, dude, you've been playing this for 3 months? Like, is this why I don't know who you are? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of got creeped out by him. I didn't hang out with him again, but I guess there's a good thing. He never got in trouble, and he never blew all his money on booze. Apparently, I don't even remember his name. That's pretty bad. But yeah, so that was my first experience with Minecraft.
It's some weirdo showing off a thing. You don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you've been doing this for months. Like, I don't know, man. I was at that point. I was playing, I think, Battlefield 3. So
Daddy, I really want to get a Nintendo Switch. Is it has a game?
yeah, we can ask Uncle Jason if we can borrow his Nintendo Switch, all right?
Yeah. But I want him to download I want him to buy a Nintendo 2DS.
2DS. Okay, is that what Dylan has?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, I got a Canik TP9. I'm very impressed by it. Extremely impressed.
Hmm.
The TP9 SF for striker fired. I know somebody told me it was like a copy of another pistol. That's great. Well, I don't have any experience in the other pistol, so it doesn't mean that much to me. But the trigger is like amazing. It's like a single action trigger. Of course, it's not a single action trigger, but it's very light. It was surprisingly light the first time I shot it.
Hmm. That's cool. Yeah, I don't really have any experience with any of their guns.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. I think I paid like $250, and the dude fired like I don't know, like he's a good buddy of mine. He only put like a box of ammo through it. It was like I've made a grave mistake. I don't need this. I'm sure you can get used ones for, a lot probably cheaper than that, but I did shoot. He had got a new M&P, the 2.0, and I really dislike the stippling on it. Way too aggressive.
Hmm. I heard good things about the 2.0.
Yeah, it shot great. It did, but I just didn't not like the stippling. For some reason or another, I always have like cuts on my hands and stuff. So I don't know. I don't mind like a good, stipple grip. That ain't the thing. But I don't know. Just it kind of made me think of like imagine somebody just like duct tape sandpaper or glued
Or
sandpaper onto the grip.
like skateboard grip tape.
Well, it was a lot bumpier than that. It was much finer, which to me it was just like, wow, this is, I've used those the things that Hickok likes. I've had that on a couple of my carry guns. The grip tape grips that are made like purpose made for different pistols. I've had that, and those aren't bad, but this was like, no thanks. You're definitely not letting go of the gun. I mean, you know, I'm sure some people like it a lot, but it was a little chilly that day, so maybe that had a factor in it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, if you're using that as like a carry gun or something, you don't want it to like only be good when it's a certain thing.
Yeah, I guess I always think like if you got a problem or something, or you're in a squabble with somebody or something, and you get a large size cut on one of your hands, and now you're trying to stabilize the pistol, and you're holding on to sandpaper. That's not going to be that great. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's just he freaking loves it. He absolutely loves it. So he was an M&P fan for years, but then he became like a super Glock fan for a while, and now he's back in the M&P realm. I honestly only think he was a Glock fan because in Massachusetts, that's the only you can only get standard capacity magazines for guns that were pre-bans. And yeah, pre-94 guns. So
Oh, it's a bummer.
yeah,
Bunch of massholes.
yeah, a bunch of assholes. Everybody thinks they're safer. Like, you know how many fucking ARs there are in the state, and how many AKs? That's so wrong to think. Like, why we banned them? Everybody's safer. They need to follow. Charlie Baker got up there. Donald Trump needs to follow our example. Shut up, Charlie.
What's he it's Mayor
Yeah.
Governor,
Quimby?
Governor, Governor Baker. Yeah, I mean, not really. That was
Mayor
me.
Quimby? Donald Trump needs to move to Springfield.
Yeah, he's from Swampscott. He doesn't have that much of an accent, but you know, my mom has an accent. I don't know if you seen the movie The Departed.
Yeah.
I almost called it The Departed, but my mom
Yeah,
has like a thick Boston accent.
I'll tell you, it was a little he had a little bit in there. It's a little departed.
Yeah.
I like them apples.
Oh yeah. The first time I went to Chicago, I got made fun of by all my brother's friends. Really bad. Ever since then, I guess like I kind of dropped it. Like ever since that, I didn't even think it was like a big deal, but like dropped a lot of my accent.
Yeah, I don't hear much of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Apparently it was
known
because
you
of that. I
either.
was embarrassed. Apparently I was extremely embarrassed. if I read, sometimes it'll come back out again. Like if I get all fucking revved up and I start reading from a piece of paper, like that, like the other night, I had to stop myself from saying cartridge when I was reading. I was rehearsing the dub because I really screwed the audio up in the video. I was like, yes, they fire several cartridges at once.
The AR-15.
Fucking bar. I had to go stop by the fucking packy, pick up a couple buds, get some beers.
Who bought yo?
So actually, I met this girl. She was friends with the bartender's neighbor. So it's like there were these two girls and like the neighbor's like boyfriend was up there. When I was talking to him, and we were all just like joking around. And I don't know, I ran to like the bathroom or something. I came back, and this girl I'd been talking to all night, speaking totally normal, had like a super British accent. And I thought I was walking into like the end of like a joke or something. I just didn't know what they were talking about. And so I was like, whatever. I just kind of ignored it, and I just, started talking about something else or whatever. And she just like was talking in a British accent there, and I was like, what happened? Like, what? Are you a different person that looks exactly the same as the person who was sitting here 5 minutes ago? And her friend was like, oh no, it's like when she gets drunk, she gets a British accent. Because apparently, like, she lived in England till she was 10 or something, and then came to the US and dropped the accent. But whenever she gets drunk, her brain just goes back to the English accent. They're like, that's how we know to take her keys, is if she has a British accent. If she doesn't, she's still safe to drive home.
That's
I was like, wow, and she like the friend was being completely serious. She's like, yep, that's how you know. And she talked with a British accent like the rest of the night. It was like, wow.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, really weird.
It's fucking bizarre, dude.
Oh man.
Was it like a posh British accent, or was it like a ghetto British accent from like Slings or something?
It was somewhere in between. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't Cockney or whatever, but it also wasn't, oh, hello. Like
Yeah.
super poshy. I'm not good at accents, so I'm not even gonna like try and do it. But it just like it sounded like, oh, this person like lives in the suburb of London or something. Like,
Yeah.
you definitely could tell she was an English person.
That's weird and crazy. They confuse other drunk people.
Yeah. Or if not, she was the most like committed practical joke ever. To remember
Yeah.
to
Oh
talk with an
man.
accent for the next like hour.
Ali G is one of those guys that can pull that shit off when he gets like wasted. That stuff used to be awesome. The guy who did Borat, and he does the
Hmm.
gay guy, and he does the who's the other person? He does Ali G. Yeah, his name's what? Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, that's the guy. When he gets like, he'll actually get shit faced and stay in character. Like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm like anyone who can stay in character for and like keep an accent for like more than like 5 minutes or whatever. It's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm like, oh look, a new thing. It's shiny. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how he did some of that like Borat stuff. I don't know how he could do that like and keep a straight face. And I mean, he hung out with those like some of those people like he hung out with like all night. Like
Yeah.
and they never even
TV
knew that he
show.
was like faking it.
The TV show is pretty crazy too. The movie is funny as hell, but the TV show is just even more bizarre because he's just like fucking with people hardcore to the max. Like when he played the gay guy and he went to like a fashion show and did the whole thing.
Daddy, do you know what this is?
Yeah, I mean, the stuff he's
That's
done
a
in movies is like
sticky
unreal.
piston.
Or like, I mean, who did he interviewed Donald Trump in one of the episodes of the TV show?
You're jumping up and
He'll
down.
get like a credible source to like schedule an interview or like somebody from like it looks official, and then he'll fuck with people hardcore. Love that shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is I don't remember there ever being any agenda. Like he's just fucking with people to fuck with people. You check out the show. You can Google it. It's just the Ali G show. Yeah, he interviews Trump as Ali G, which is pretty funny.
Wow. So I'm watching this thing. There's like these fishermen and they're pulling up a net and there's just like a billion like seagulls like, up like flying around and up on the thing like, probably trying to catch fish that are and fall out of the net or whatever. But I'm just sitting there thinking, dude, if you were on the boat with like a shotgun, oh my God, you could like clear all those birds out in like 2 seconds.
Nice.
Dude, there's a killer whale just jumped up and like snagged a bird. This is nuts.
Yeah, those seagulls will follow you wherever you, all the way back if you're cutting fish. Those bastards.
You can't have guns on boats, can you? Isn't that like a
Yeah.
maritime law thing?
Daddy,
As far as I know, I don't
Maybe that's
know
just
if
like
there's
go
ever
out
been a
into
law.
the ocean or something. You can't bring a gun with you.
I don't know about international waters. I'm not sure about that, but I know in state waters, in my state at least, I know I'm pretty good with a license, but we don't know where the thing is, bud. We already looked for it. Oh, there goes my phone. But yeah, I don't know. I never looked into it. I worked on a casino boat for a while, and I was just unarmed the whole time. It was before I bought a gun. I just got out of the army. I didn't have a gun yet.
So I just remember and I saw this on Whale Wars or whatever. The thing where they try and stop the Japanese from killing whales in the Atlantic or in the Arctic,
Yeah,
Antarctic. God, I'm just
those
gonna keep
people.
saying words that start with A till I get it right. The Antarctic Whale Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And they go and I'm one of those things. I was like on the fence either way because for one, it's like, okay, the Japanese like they have a set quota. Like for one, they're fishing the whales like intelligently. Like there's only certain types they go after, and they're the ones that like aren't endangered and stuff like that. So from that point of view, it's like, all right, they're just catching, like whatever. They get a couple of big whales and they're like good for the season. But then on the other side of it, it's like, yeah, but they did kind of sign they even signed a treaty that's like this specific area, like nothing will happen. Like the whales are protected in this area. And their whole thing, the Japanese are like, oh no, we're doing whale research. We just happen to have to kill it so we can like see what its stomach content is because like we're doing research. But then they sell the whale meat like on the fish markets back in Japan. So it's like really a research boat
Yep.
also happens to be a giant fishery boat. Like, come on. I mean, that whale is chopped up and like is in cubes within like 20 minutes of getting shot. Like it's crazy. They're just driving around a giant factory of knives.
Yeah,
But
one of my buddies. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I just wanted to finish my point. Was that
Yep.
they were like leaving port or something. It was when they had like the super fast speedboat thing was going to try and catch up with them or whatever, and they got busted because they had I don't know, some gun or something. So what they did is they like had to sneak in like parts to make like a pneumatic gun. So like the one boat had a couple pipes on it, like just in their engine room, like that makes sense, whatever. And then the other one had some like compressor tanks and like some tubing or whatever. And then when they met up with the other boats, they put together this like, like paintball pneumatic gun thing.
Yeah, it must have been maybe the ITAR, maybe, or some sort of international firearms regulation or
Yeah,
some
yeah, it
shit.
was one of those like if you get caught like shooting guns or something, then like you're not welcome in like certain ports. Like once like a country will, because you have to, at least for international, you have to fly under a certain country's flag. Like no matter where you are in the world, like their boat was registered with like, Sweden or whatever, or Norway or something. Well, if Norway's like, nah, dude, like you did something wrong, like you're not registered with us anymore. And then that's like it's kind of like a real life like pirate ship now. If you can't find a country to like sponsor you or register you type of thing, then other countries, like when they look up your number, they'll be like, you're not like a real boat, like you're not registered. And they're all kind of all in together. So if one port is like, yeah, these guys are troublemakers, we don't want them, like all the other industrialized countries are like, well, you're not allowed to come into our port either then. So then that's when you're stuck like going to Somalia or something.
Yeah, but yeah, my buddy said he tried to cook. I didn't know that. My buddy said he tried to cook whale when he was living in Japan. And he probably did it wrong, but he said it tasted like a soggy cow.
Hmm. Well, it seems to
I,
be like just big chunks of fat mostly. I mean, that's
yeah, I don't know. I ate horse a couple times in Japan the first and second time I went there, and that freaking delicious.
so I've had horse at IKEA. I just didn't know it at the time. It came out after
Oh,
the fact.
I've had I've had raw horse. I never had it cooked, so
No, I was just kidding. I've actually never had a meatball from IKEA. I just remember that being a
oh,
story.
yikes. I have
It was
not
like,
heard
that
that
was
one.
one of the things. Like IKEA's like they're like known for like, oh my God, you get like these meatballs there, like these Swedish meatballs are so good. I was like,
Ah, the
okay, whatever.
lingonberries.
But yeah, it came out like, like way after the fact. Like, oh yeah, turns out like those meatballs have horse meat in them.
Ooh. Well, I've eaten the raw stuff. I forget what they call it. I forget what it's called, but both times I was drunk, and both times it was absolutely delicious.
Huh. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it is kind of weird how sometimes we pick certain animals are like, oh, these are cool to eat, and other ones are like, that's not cool to eat. But I mean, a horse is, I would imagine it's a hooved animal type thing. It's probably very similar to, whatever other hooved animals that run around.
Yeah, they got different standards over there with food. They don't do the same stuff that we do with food. So they do a lot of weird other like. There's a lot of dishes over there that you eat with raw eggs, which our whole lives we've been told don't eat raw eggs. At least my whole life, I've always been told do not eat raw eggs. And over there, it's like, oh yeah, here's a stew. Yeah, you dump the raw egg on the you dip the beef in the raw egg, and then
Hmm.
you hold it over. You use your rice bowl to catch the raw egg, and then you eat the rest of it later.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered about that because it's like I know it's a thing. People like drink eggs all the time, and it's like bodybuilders and stuff. Like you always see people doing that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I guess I don't know how many of them really get salmonella or whatever. So is it just
I think they're
is it
like
a blown
organic
out of
eggs.
proportion problem? Like maybe, yeah, like a 1 in a million chance of getting something, or is it one of those if you do it a bunch, like it's not like your body's used to it, like that type of thing? I don't know.
Yeah, as far as I know, like the eggs are they're very strict what they feed their animals. They're very strict what they feed their animals, and very strict on the whole farming process. No growth hormones, none of that crap. And I don't know. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way somebody explained it to me when I was drinking, and I was like, good enough. That's enough of an answer for making me
Well,
up.
hey, here's a chance for me to collect some anecdotal evidence. Did you get salmonella?
No.
There you go. So
Yeah.
1 out of 1 people I know that has done it, 100% chance of safety.
Yeah. So, and I've heard, other stories of people from Japan, oh yeah, my dad, he used to he used to poke holes in eggs and suck everything out of them every day.
Because I've heard that. I've heard that what was that in? Like an English book or something? The guy was talking about that. I don't know. So it's I guess Europeans do that too.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard anybody do it. He's gonna get salmonella. You're gonna die.
I've seen plenty of like people making protein shakes and stuff, and they crack a couple eggs in there, and they put the powder and then some other crap and put it all in a blender, and
Yeah.
but they drink like one of those a morning or something. They seem to be fine.
Maybe it's just a safety police thing. I'm sure somebody's gotten sick at one point. We love safety
Right.
police.
No, I know it's probably, but I feel like sometimes we like disproportionately concern about things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there is a chance, but it's like very small, and somehow that got blown out of proportion where, I was at the point I used to be like super paranoid about it. I don't even like runny eggs. No, part of that's just I don't like the way they taste when they're runny. Like I normally just scramble them up and just make sure it's cooked all the way through. But like if I'm getting, just like an egg, it's got to be a well done egg.
I used to be that way, and then
I don't like runny yolks.
After Japan, I don't know, man. After like the second time going back there, I now only cook runny eggs. So I don't know why, but there's some reason something or other happened. In Hawaii, I guess they have this one dish there. It's freaking delicious. It's called a locomoco, and it's rice with 2 crappy burger patties, and then gravy and eggs. It's called a locomoco, and it's freaking delicious. So that also had runny eggs on it too. I don't know why, but I miss being able to go to McDonald's and get spam and spam and rice, white rice, spam. That's the balls.
Spam, eggs and spam.
Yeah,
spam, bacon, eggs and spam.
It's freaking balls, man. I gotta go to the McDonald's here. You get, you can't get that. You gotta get, the egg sandwich or whatever, or the pancakes. And it's like sometimes I wouldn't mind having, the eggs and the soy sauce and the rice for breakfast.
Daddy?
All right, it's definitely bedtime now. I'll probably be back on later, or I'll be kicking around somewhere in the chat later.
All right. Well, probably Pink's Lobby is going to run most of the night. Cool. The guys might be over there. I might set another one up here if there's interest in it. If not, though, I think I'm going to, like, the chat room's been dead for a while. I think I'm just going to shut this one down. But
all right.
I can make a new one. So, dude, take it easy.
Have a good one. See you later, Smeggy.
I mean, he's sitting there.
Say bye, Snowman.
He's sitting there bitching at me.
Bye.
Like, something wrong.